Hey guys, welcome to Black Girl Pod episode 45.
Oh.
Okay, so
Did you like that?
we went from
Okay.
sex
That's
operator to the
Wait,
Caribbean.
sex operator?
Cool. I'll take it.
That's not my default.
I mean,
Girl 6. Popping.
you know.
Hey guys, my name is Bex. And to my right is...
Gia Peppers at Gia Peppers.
Alicia P at Alicia P.
And it's Saphira M. And since we're doing at names, at Saphira M.
We don't
EM.
always do that. Do we always do
EM.
that? That's
No,
at the end. My bad.
I mean, you
She
said
set
the
it
trend.
off.
Hating you, but I'm just like, since we're doing
She was
it,
shading you. She was shading you.
It was a
Scotty
little
Beam
shady.
is on her way. She's just running a little late.
Yeah, we'll hold her.
She's
spot
gonna hop
open.
in as soon as she gets here.
Hop in.
We've been so
Yes.
consistent in this Q4.
Check us out. We don't even know how to
Yeah.
act when we're consistent. We're like, so what are we doing? What are we talking about? What's happening?
Right. I haven't lived life for 2 weeks. To
Right.
A month. So I don't know what to tell
I feel
y'all.
like I've lived life for 2 days. So.
That's also a
I
thing.
did just see you 48 hours ago. And
That is facts.
Oh
That is
yeah,
facts.
We could talk about
We could just jump
bad-
right into that shit.
Right.
horrible
Instead of
experience.
regular update.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that
Mm.
after the
But please, Saphira, you got the best little news.
EM, what's up, EM?
So tell us
you,
about
guys.
your event now.
So mad I wasn't there.
I'm from
Show
New Orleans,
airware.
baby. Yes, baby. So yeah, tell me about your little new event that you did.
Thank you guys for coming, Alicia. It's okay that you didn't make it.
It's not, but that's nice to say.
Yes,
Don't
it
come
is.
for
She
me.
will share with us why she didn't
Thank you,
come.
Seth.
Anyway,
Oh,
I had an
dang.
event. It was the first Sassbox Fireside Chat with Narisha Willis of the Black Vogue movement. Thank you guys.
Come on, Black
It
Vogue.
was at the
Alicia
Brooklyn-
can't clap because she's singing double right now.
Ah,
But continue.
She's a hater.
Why am I
It's the
hating
closest
for
one.
that?
See,
Okay.
man. Go ahead, Saphira. Go ahead.
It was at the Brooklyn Circus, which is obviously in Brooklyn, but they have one in San Fran too.
Yeah.
And shout out to Ouija, for allowing me to utilize the space and bring together people. But it was basically just a conversation to get people to support and get them aware of what the Black Vogue movement is. I'm gonna say that again because that door is very annoying and you can hear it in episodes. So basically, I hosted an event called the Sassbox Fireside Chat with Narisha Willis. And Narisha is of the Black Vogue movement. She also has a beautiful T-shirt line, Shop Avenue N, which basically describes different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different quotes from her childhood, and it's mainly about being from the ghetto. And I love that she embraces that, and she knows
So
the
cute.
true meaning of the ghetto. And it's just like, I'm gonna be me no matter what, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. So it was super dope. Again, it was held at Brooklyn Circus. Shout out to Ouija for letting me utilize the space. Shout out to Chef Sticks for the food. Shout out to Bon Temps for the tea, and everybody that came out. It was so successful.
Who made the cupcakes?
The cupcakes came from a baker. She's a black woman.
Yes, black
in
girl
New Jersey. I'm gonna pull her name
magic.
up and I'll get it for you guys.
Because them cupcakes was good and it was
She tearing
personalized.
them up.
Come on,
I
personalized.
had 1.5.
Okay. Really?
I did. Because the first, never mind, because I'm not going to say that. I'm
Exactly.
not going to say what I didn't
No.
like.
Nah, that's what you're not going to do. Definitely not.
I can't and
Are
I
you
won't
crazy?
be bothered. I can't and I won't.
So you had.
I had 1.5. What do you want from me?
I can't and I won't.
What's up with you, Gia? Damn.
Congratulations on your event.
Nah, yo, the
Yeah.
room was pizzacked. People were from wall to wall.
Oh my
It
was
looked like
wild.
it via social.
People, the most fashionable people in the world came.
Yeah.
People drove up from Philly, honey, to support. Narisha has great supporters, and they were able to come out and like really, really get to meet Saphira, which was dope. She did an intro. I was very proud.
I tried to take from you, G.
Yeah.
You taught me.
Come
well.
on, inner
Yeah.
tap into your
But she
friends.
did a great job, and then she was able to really work the room and like schmooze with all the fancy people. So it was really cute, and I stood behind a counter for most of the time
Yes.
because
Yeah.
there were some
It's a
moments.
funny little story.
What
but-
you mean
I don't
behind
think
the
we- I
counter?
don't
What
think we wanna
counter?
talk about
Yeah, I don't know. We
All
wanna share that.
got
Just
it.
do your research before you go to
Got
events.
it.
Just a word of advice to everyone in America and people who listen across the
She is
world.
one of a kind. Seriously, I was looking at you on Saturday. I'm like, you're a fucking Disney show. Like,
Thank you. I take that as a
beautiful.
compliment.
it's really beautiful.
I could do Raven
things.
and Raven. That's so Raven and Raven's home, honey.
Yeah,
And get these coins.
Raven, Penny Proud, and probably Lizzie McGuire. Throw some.
Oh,
you know,
Lizzie. I used to. With Lizzie.
Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie Horde. Oh
No,
my God.
but from a distance, and I was really sad that because I was like, I'm gonna go. I know what I'm gonna wear.
good.
I really wanted to be there, and it looked super amazing from a distance. It looked packed. It looked like it was everything every person in that room needed. I'm really sad I wasn't there, but I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you
As
very much. I
proud.
appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
just to emphasize it a little more, if you guys look on social media, hashtag Black Vogue Movement, make sure you read up on what Narisha is dealing with at this time and
wild.
why she even started the Black
Tell
Vogue
us a little
movement.
bit.
So pretty much, I can't really talk about it because she's in the middle of a lawsuit.
Of course.
But she pretty much started the Black Vogue movement to like bring diversity to
Vogue.
runways, and not just Vogue, but just
just
to
like,
fashion
yeah.
period, and to really like take back what's ours, because a lot of what's happening, especially to her, is cultural appropriation. And the ghetto is not something that should be culturally appropriated,
Well.
because especially by people who never experienced our type of ghetto.
Right.
So I feel like she's definitely the poster child for it. She's definitely raising her fist and doing what she has to do to stay resilient and be courageous through it. So I'm very proud of her, and I'm happy that I got to do that event with her.
It's not easy to do that either. And she seems like she's super young.
She's 26.
Yeah, God
And
bless
so
her.
cute.
Because let me tell you what I wasn't doing at 26.
That.
Right. So shout out to her for even taking all of that on her shoulders and just even pursuing something for our culture that's super necessary, because it's really, really bad out here the way people are actually appropriating our culture. And she's out here 26 years old. This probably happened a year or two ago, so she was even younger.
This happened all in the last year.
Yeah, so like a year ago.
No,
God.
like in this last
Oh, this year.
2018
See, oh, yeah. Well, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shout out to her for even putting herself out there and literally bringing an army behind her. So, God bless her for that.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, since you're speaking,
Yikes.
tell us about
Yeah, why didn't you show
your
up?
incredible weekend in my hometown.
I know, and you weren't even there.
I know that was the one weekend I was not.
I know,
in-
that's- I was
well,
like-
I mean, I'm not in DC every weekend, but
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not even going to bother because I know she's not there.
I had to be in Chicago working. But please tell us about DC.
So super last minute, Yvonne Orgy's camp hit me. Yvonne Orgy is Molly from Insecure, as
know
you
who
guys
she
all
is.
know. You should know by now.
Alicia's definitely about to be her personal shooter.
Oh my
And
God!
that
don't
means she'll
say
be
that.
personally on the show. Right.
I mean, speak it, please. No,
She and Issa.
that would be a dream come
Keep
true.
up the work.
Right.
Better be a great edit.
That just gave me like my heart just raced. Same
No
here.
pressure.
They hit me last minute. Shout out to Angel who hit me last minute. She's also
so
the same
dope.
person that hit me to ask me to shoot for Yvonne while I was in LA during Complex Con week to shoot night.
Nigerian excellence.
Thank you. And I shot in DC for Jesus and Jolloff's podcast first live show.
Wow.
And I was it was like
You don't even be shooting at our show. I'm just playing.
what you want me to do, sis? I
you
mean,
shoot
I
at their
could try to multitask
I'm
next
playing.
time.
I'm playing. I'm playing with you.
No, but that was good. It was like nostalgic in a sense because I got to experience someone else's first live show, and then it was also like, wow, I'm here for Yvonne. Like they wanted me back. The fact that they consistently reached back out to me to shoot for them is such a like I thank them every single time, and I thank them for like 3 minutes. I know they're like, all right, Alicia.
No, leash.
I don't know if y'all remember last year around this time, actually December 9th, I shot for the first time with Yvonne.
Wow.
Chris
At
Rock.
Chris Rock.
Wow.
One whole ass year. We getting close to 365. At the Barclays Center for Yvonne, shout out to Carl Ferguson who actually had me come in. He was the photographer for that night, and they needed a videographer. And shout out to him for just being like, you need Alicia. Alicia was the person who applied to be a PA on set. I don't know if y'all remember. I had did that Insecure on set. No, that same year, nigga. That same year, like a few weeks, months before. So he put me D to them, and Angel and Yvonne fell in love with my content and the way I shoot. And I've been shooting with them for a year. Any event that they've been able to have something in the vicinity, or just even if it was in LA, like she hit me, was like, "Are you gonna be available November 1st in LA?" And just by God's grace,
Well,
I was flying into LA.
he'll
So
do it. If he won't, won't he won't? Really won't.
so just the fact that they reach out to me every event that they possibly can, just to even see if I'm available, like they didn't need to have me come from New Jersey to DC. They literally could have found another eager person in DC who's down the street to shoot. But because they rocked with me, they had me come out, and I shot their first event, their first live show. I was super thrilled, super excited. It was again nostalgic because it was kind of like reliving our first live show, and that's Yvonne's alma mater. It was George Washington University in DC. And just seeing her be excited, you know, for her, she's like on Insecure, she's doing all this stuff. She did a TED Talk. And just to see her as excited as we were, I don't know if y'all remember how excited we were
it wasn't
that
long
day.
ago.
Yeah, I know, but it seems
So
like
of course I
it
remember.
seems like 1964, but
yesterday.
whatever.
Why is that always the year? It's always 1964
I mean,
or
it's-
7.
I like
Back
even
in the
numbers.
day when we was kids,
Right.
when we did that live show.
You know.
So I watched the live show the other day, and we are completely different. from-
Again?
Yes.
Again,
I
it's
know I
Jesus.
am. I said, wow,
No,
that
it's
food pie
beautiful.
Is not there no more.
Yes, it is. Clap it up for that. Yes.
Well, mine is.
No,
I
I
gained
know.
one.
Me too. I
But
might gain one more.
and Lovey Ajayi.
Yes,
is
Lovey.
her
They
guest host.
their energy on stage together. When I tell you a
Stars.
sisterhood, a bond, and everything, it was just so beautiful to see two Nigerian African women coming together for their culture, making people like there wasn't a second where there wasn't a laugh. I was
Lovey has
shooting,
two
and
podcasts.
if y'all hear this raw footage of me, like I'm low key shaky because I'm laughing
That's awesome.
between takes. They were super amazing together. Lovey was amazing. Yvonne was amazing. They both dropped gems. I had an amazing time out there. I got to like have fun in DC. I got on a scooter, spent an hour and a half on a Lyft scooter. Them shits are fire. I was like going through DC.
You were driving it yourself?
Yes, I was going as fast as I possibly could. It was a good fucking time. I did fuck Donald Trump in front of the White House. I did my YG dance. Had a good time. It was fun. Like I had an amazing time. And again, thank Yvonne and Angel for reaching out to me consistently over and over and over and over to just shoot for them. They're the definition of like women empowerment and rocking with someone they believe in and making sure that whatever they can possibly do to get them there, they will do that. So I, again, thank them again. I was able to bring in Yvonne's birthday at midnight with her. I never would have imagined that doing the Insecure on set PA contest. Like what?
Life is good.
It's
bro.
I'm like what? Like I can't even.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So super thankful. I had a great fucking weekend nonetheless.
For you. That's amazing.
Thank
to
you.
See how far you've come in the last year.
Whew.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that last
Me
year
either.
this time you were shooting
Last
at the
year.
garden, and that's super dope.
Yeah,
So
it's
when
crazy.
You get on payroll, just
Got
it
you.
seems like you there.
I
Pretty
mean,
much.
you know,
Twice
just
in like
doing
2
it for the
weeks,
culture.
2, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Like
Right.
literally a month.
That's
Yvonne's cool.
Complex Con was November 1st. So, and then I shot this weekend.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah.
So,
Yvonne
happy
is so
birthday,
nice.
Yvonne.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lovey got
Birthday.
2 podcasts. She out here.
Working
2
and just
podcasts
newly
and a
engaged.
New York Times bestseller.
Working.
Please don't sleep on Lovey Ajayi out here.
No.
She been about this life.
Oh, true.
Yes, out here.
Yeah. I went to
DC.
Chicago. Yes. For Essence is rolling out like a whole lot of new content. So every like media brand or media outlet has these things called upfronts. That's when they pitch their new content and things that they want buyers and advertisers to buy into. They'll invite them for a cute time, and it's fun, and like videos and things. And so we did one in New York earlier in November. They did one in LA that I couldn't go to, and they just did one in Chicago, and that was cute. Elle Varner performed. She got some fire coming out. Young Elle, she back. And they have a lot of great stuff coming to Essence. So it was super cool to like reunite with the fam. Like been working with them for a year.
Yeah.
So Richelieu Dennis, he like has contacts everywhere. So I think now he's just trying to make sure that like all the major black markets feel that they have. I mean, I didn't know we have a Chicago sales rep who's been out there for a long time, and his name is Paul. So he put together a lot of the event, and the sales team there came together and was really able to make sure it popped. The live events team, they were talking about all the major things they have coming up that I don't know if I can say because I don't think they even put it on their podcast yet. But yeah, I think Chicago's just a major black city, major black market for them, and so they were like, let's go and tell the homies what's good. And I went to Facebook in Chicago. That was very cute. They have a cute little office there, even though they're under fire for some things. Yeah, Facebook.
Office in particular?
No, Facebook in general.
Yeah.
Like Facebook. First of all, Facebook Chicago is incredible. I really like the offices. I really, really, really loved. Girl, they got a vending machine in there. Let me tell y'all, they have a vending machine in the office where you can get free Apple accessories.
Oh, 100%, I'm
From-
sure.
From the touchpad to the mouse to the new AirPods with the charger to the chargers, everything. All you gotta do is swipe your ID. I said, hold up now.
God bless.
This
Who's
is-
swiping for me?
That's what I said. I was looking at her and she was like, no, they don't play that.
In their New York office too.
Yeah.
Espy,
Yeah.
styled our shoot in May. She works for Facebook as well.
Yo,
She works out of the New York
Facebook
office.
is they get
It's
dinner,
everything.
breakfast, dinner, and lunch
Yeah.
for free,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
snacks.
And like extended dinner too.
Like they,
Right.
you never. They said it's like when you first go to college and it's the freshman 20, you get the freshman 15, you get the Facebook 15.
I believe that.
because all they
That's
do is
across
eat.
the board in their company. Because
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
sitting down listening
To the same
when I
thing.
spoke with Espy about it.
Yeah.
That's good though, but they've been one of the best companies to work for. Like
Mhm.
Google as well.
years.
From
Google
around.
as well.
Google, it's like Google and Facebook.
all
that
the same
are like
shit.
Neck and neck in the running.
Yeah,
Whatever
for like
it is.
creating
Google
a
has
company culture that's
everything.
really dope.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have to be honest, and I told my friend Alex, who's super dope, still verify me. That
Verify,
trying to get verified.
Oh, that's
So Facebook is under fire because one of their black employees left and pretty much kind of said like, yo, Facebook doesn't really care about its black users
Oh.
and that our content gets taken down faster than white people and it takes longer for us to get it back up. And so I was like, oh shit, okay, that's kind of wild. I didn't realize that until
Yeah.
I put two and two together over the summer when I was working with Martini and Rossi. I got to work with Claire from Fashion Bomb Daily. Claire has been trying to get Fashion Bomb Daily back for
Oh, it's true.
months. And she was like, the white girls do the same thing that she did, got theirs back in like 2 to 3 weeks. Now, she doesn't know if there's a difference between lawyers or whatever, but she really does feel targeted as a black woman who can't get her. Mind you, she was the #1 destination for
Yes.
fashion for black
Yes.
fashion. She was the
For
only
a
people-
while.
like for a
Since
while, the
college.
only
Yeah.
person covering like everyone from Kelly to Seven. Like when Vogue and them wouldn't cover them, she made sure that we knew what they were wearing.
She was there around Concrete Loop time too.
okay,
and
like
was
she's
killing it.
Whoa.
been
Killing it.
down,
Concrete
like
Yes.
Loop.
Ben.
been
Yes.
down, and so like the fact that she still doesn't have her page. This was May when we were in our trip. She still doesn't have her page back.
On
She has a
Facebook.
second page.
And-
No, Facebook owns Instagram.
Oh,
Right.
so on
Instagram
Instagram.
she doesn't
Right.
have
She
it
doesn't
back.
have it- and it was even before
Yeah.
May that she didn't have that.
Exactly.
It was like closer to March.
So I want to do some more research because I asked my friend. I was like, she was like, yeah, we're trying to make sure that we do more with our black users and make sure that they understand how important it is. But I'm like, I think that is something that we should all make sure is an important thing because Facebook and Instagram users, a lot of the main like active users are black. So if we feel like we're being targeted, then that's kind of like, well, that's kind of a slap in the face. So I would definitely want to challenge, especially on our platform, challenge Facebook to make sure that they are taking care of black users, because our content matters just as much, if not
More. Let's
more
just say it.
Then
Let's just say
you
it.
know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying
We
that.
create content.
Right. And
Period.
I mean, like, especially
We are the creators of content.
in culture.
Of culture, right? Thank you.
Everything takes from us.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, like, if you guys, and the number one performing Facebook show on Facebook Watch is Red Table Talk.
Listen.
And that's three black ass women.
Three of them.
Three of them.
Three of
They're
them.
related.
Okay.
Same
So
face.
Grandma,
same face,
mom, and
three ways.
grandchild.
Now, Willow got Will's face. That is Will's
Yes.
face on her face.
It's crazy. That's
We're
just
not
crazy.
gonna-
so cute.
we
Named
not gonna do
after
this.
Will and has Will's face.
I mean, I think Jaden looks like Jada.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they just kind of spoke it. They were like, "You can be me."
So we said
and
it,
you'll be
so
me.
it shall be done.
I
really
love
love
that show.
Facebook, and I
Yeah.
hope that they can like make sure
You
that
know we
their
never
black
talked
users
about
feel.
too about. I'm sorry to cut
Go
you
ahead.
off. But
No, I was just
it
gonna say
kinda
make sure
bounces
that
off.
we feel like taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah, because that didn't come out.
Oh, I was gonna say I really do. We all love Instagram and Facebook, so I just want to make sure that we challenge and hold Facebook accountable. Like, yo,
What's up?
what's good? Like, make sure that we're taken care of as well, because we probably gonna be on Facebook Watch soon. So
All
you never know.
right.
People speaking.
Okay.
You never know, and I want to make sure my
Oh no, you're not even using it.
I told him I didn't want them. They gave it to me anyway.
Didi's here. Let's get a chair. But yes, Facebook. Make sure y'all get that together now.
But what we never talked about that you bring up Red Table Talk is how like impactful, I know it's not a word, Jada and Will's episode was.
Oh,
and
we
how it was
sure
two
did.
parts and it was like it was trending all over the place about how like their relationship goes. But I think that's like a watered down
Version of what they
yeah, I
really
was
do.
version of what it
disappointed.
really
Could
is.
have been, or what it was, and they just edited down. I was low-key
not
disappointed.
I don't think the episode was watered down. I think just saying relationship goals is a watered down description of what actually we saw happening on both episodes. And it goes into friendship too, which I think we're gonna go and
tell
expand.
me what you thought about the episode, and then you say why you thought it was watered down. Because I'm with you on that.
It's relationship goals, but I think it's like they've transcended ways of tagging or categorizing partnership. Because what it truly is partnership, and recognizing that I'm choosing to ride with you no matter who you become or don't become,
Right.
because I've decided to invest in you. I've decided to invest into the energy that we share amongst each other and for each other, with each other, within the community that we've created with our kids and stuff like that.
Right.
So
right.
it's a really strong commitment past. Everybody says all these social norms of like marriage and relationship. It really is past that.
Right.
To a point where I don't even think I can articulate it because I haven't
Experienced it.
I haven't touched it. Like that's
Yeah.
just insane. Like I guess goals is the word, but it's just like I don't think people really understand what it takes to have what they were describing
and I
in
think
their partnership.
their partnership took years of, like they said, unraveling.
Yeah.
And like almost breaking up and realizing that like, no, I'm just not gonna leave you. And like
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Toni Braxton episode because
Which I just saw, yeah.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
She
Yeah.
added some more layers to that.
Was that
But-
new?
Yeah, super new. But I think that what they have is an understanding that you are my person, and so like at the end of the day, you can do something dumb and try and leave me, but I ain't leaving. So like, what's good? Like we gonna do what we do, and I think that was a beautiful part to see. Like
Yeah.
Will and Jada speak on how they were able to create something that worked for them. It might not work for everybody,
Right.
but it works for them. All right, what you going like about it?
Me, the trailer was it was way more suspenseful, and I thought they were going to talk more about like their issues than they actually spoke about. I thought it was going to be more about, I thought Will maybe would have talked about maybe possibly cheating, or Jada. I don't know who cheated on who. I'm just literally speaking on what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more in detailed conversation of exactly what happened in their marriage. It just seemed more so like a general consensus of like, okay, so let me tell you how we arrived to this great point that we're at today. It wasn't necessarily like a, let me tell you what happened that got us there. It was a quick, brief, yeah, so this is what happened, but this is how we got here. No, they don't have to tell the tea, but the way the trailer
Well, it's a sizzle.
came off, no, 100%. It came off as if it was gonna be like some juicy, and I wanted to hear that because we are right now idolizing and loving Will and Jada and what they're doing with social media and everything and their transparency. I just thought I was going to see a little more transparency than what they actually gave us. Still happy with what I got because they didn't have to give us anything at all. I just thought I was going to get a little more of it.
So I kind of felt that way at first, and then I went back and watched it over, and no one cheated. Like, that wasn't ever a thing. That's not why.
Right. But
but I feel like media and us were looking for something that just wasn't there. And they were very clear and expressive on what it is that broke their, not broke their marriage, but kind of like
pushed it to the
edge.
Yeah.
For lack of better words. And that was because Will was creating this life that Jada didn't necessarily want to be a part of.
100%.
So that's what it was.
That still was.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was good to hear, though.
But that's all that it was. Like, there wasn't anything else to the story. Because I felt the same way, too. But I think that was like the vulture-ish in me or whatever. That's not a word.
It was just a low-key.
The person trying to get gossip, like, why they was really getting divorced. There was mad rumors saying that they was getting.
It was just low-key misleading. It was misleading just a little bit by the trailer. Just a tiny bit. Maybe I got to go back and watch. I'll go back and watch.
I think we just wanted more.
Yeah.
So in the newest episode with Tony, not in the newest episode, there's another one that just came out, but the newest episode with Tony, Jada did say, like, you might have to, if you might want to, you could add somebody, but I'm never leaving you. She was like, but there's never going to be a divorce. Like, so she literally said, like, I don't know if it was necessarily cheating. They might have an understanding.
An open relationship.
I don't think it's open more than it is like, if you, I guess that's open.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Because she did say, like, if you got to add somebody,
I need to watch.
But it wasn't, she didn't expound on that. She was just like, she was saying, I'm not mature enough to get divorced.
Yeah.
She was like, our friendships, our stuff is too intertwined. Our families are too built in to the point where I'm not letting go of these people. And it kind of sounded like she was like, and because I love these people, I can't let go of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real thing in the family.
It's also accountability.
Yeah.
It's like, we already built this tribe together. Why? I don't think it's worth losing what we have built together. For
dumb stuff.
Yeah, like
for another person.
Fix through it. Let's work
accountability, but it's also
a lot. I feel like a lot of older relationships that I lost my train of thought. I feel like a lot of older relationships are like that, where it's like everyone's friends and everyone knows each other,
and we just want to make it work.
You hold yourself accountable. Like, what's up? But,
I don't know. I mean, I love what Jada's doing with Red Table Talk. I love one of the first few episodes where her and Will Smith's ex-wife
Cherie
had a conversation.
I think my house now. That's when Jada said she said that on the phone. I was like, this bitch is from Baltimore. For real.
That conversation is necessary in our culture. Like, I was reading the comments and people were like, thank you so much for having this. I didn't know that something like this can exist. So what I feel like Jada's doing with Red Table Talk is something that's super necessary for Black women, Black men, Black children.
People too.
People. 100%. But Black, we don't have these conversations. Like, we refuse to have these conversations. We kind of put our backs to them and just try to kind of look forward past them. So I love the fact that she's bringing some of this shit to light and she's having that conversation. So shout out to Jada for that.
Yeah.
She didn't have to put her business out there. Essentially, that's what she's doing. Transparency is working. Bex, what you been up to, though?
It's hard for me to say because I've had a disappointing day. So I can't really, I'm kind of like wrapped up in all of that. So I can't really talk about my past week. Just had expectations and invested myself into like hoping that I could gain a new step into my maturity in life and growth, and it just fell through. So I'll share. I'll share it. I was applying for an apartment, and everything was like the couple that I met there. They were just like all welcoming and just like it was just parallel to like what I was doing, where I was going, where they were going, where I'm eventually trying to go, eventually trying to go, and it was just, everything was cool up until it came to the offices of, where the application was being submitted. And then it was just like all of this technicality and the irony was that there's enough finances to make it happen, but they want to make sure that we're not making too much so that we could be there. And it's kind of like, that was not that. I've never dealt with that situation before.
Listen, I know.
But they're going through everything with a fine tooth comb. And it was just like, I don't know what else I can provide to you because, well, I know what else, but it's just like, there's enough information here for you to discern whether or not I make too much or not enough. And it's just like, it was just kind of heartbreaking because it was a beautiful, it was a balcony. It was a beautiful balcony. You could see the sunset.
Yeah.
It was like an office space in Brooklyn. Very convenient, right next to the trains. Fitness center in the basement, laundry unit in the basement. Bring you your mail for you.
Literally
the supermarket,
a New York City
like
dream.
literally convenient, and the price was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Everything included. So then just to come to do all of that and then get to the point where they're just like, yeah, we need more. And and then to find out, I thought that I was the first to submit because it was kind of like wasn't on the market yet. It was just by word of mouth. Come to find out there's 6 people ahead of me.
Right.
So that was just like the first blow. And then they're like, well, this is missing. That's the second blow. And the third one is just like, it's just having to go back to the drawing board is very sucky.
Did they give you a solid no yet?
No, I didn't even leave the paperwork because you're not going to run my credit if I have 6 people ahead of me. And it's not guaranteed, and then I'm gonna get a blow to my reading, even though I know what my numbers are, but they're still gonna run it anyway. It's like why would I put myself through that process when I'm up against 6 different applicants? So it's like I'm kind of like on the fence about it. I don't know if I'll just leave the application anyway, and just by the grace of God, I'm the 7th, the lucky 7.
Yeah, listen,
seven's a good.
7 is number of completion.
This is
And
true.
if the couple liked you, then
It's not even up to the couple.
It's numbers. And I understand where you're coming from because I had to deal with a similar situation. One thing I would say is pray on it.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Don't think that because there's 6 ahead of you that it's still not yours. And I think with prayer you'll figure that out. I went through this similar situation, and literally there were applicants. There were like 20 people ahead of me, and I still got the apartment. And I still got the apartment because the apartment was mine. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that though. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
And you opened this statement by saying everything was aligned for you. So if you felt that the alignment is there, just follow it through.
it might be.
I didn't know that, and me saying that out,
pop up.
me saying that out loud just gave me chills because I never looked at it like that until hearing what you just said. Mm-hmm. I literally did not. There was no reason for me to have that apartment because literally that when they started taking applications, it was 6 months before. So I was literally number like 4,762, 100%. But because I needed to be in that apartment and I had prayed for an answer, I got it because it was mine. And I didn't know. I literally didn't know. I didn't even have hope that it would be mine. Mm-hmm. I just did it because why not?
Who knows? Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, I was driving over here and I was just like, I'm going to do something where at least one foot is still in the door because you never know.
Don't give up. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't look at your credit being ran as a loss. You literally never know. If it's supposed to be your apartment, it will be. Don't give up on it. Pray on it and then figure out what you want to do next.
It was just so damn perfect.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Perfect.
I get it. Trust me.
Deanie, Scotty Beam.
Hey, girl. Hi.
The medication has me really drowsy, so I'm trying to like stay up.
Tell everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Right, bro. You a
Thank you for
soldier.
your dedication and coming.
Saturday, I popped my knee, but I didn't think much of it because it always pops, and I'm like, my knee has been in this pain since 6 months ago. So I was like, and I still had to get the surgery for it and stuff like that. I just was like, I don't have time. I don't have time to be like sitting down for weeks.
Getting surgery.
So, finally this morning I had pivoted to like get, like I was making tea and I had pivoted to get some honey. My knee popped again. Ooh. And then I couldn't feel my toes.
Oh no.
So I was like, all right, it's time to go. So my knees was, my toes were tingling and stuff. What happened 6 months ago happened again, but with less effort. And so I had to go to the hospital today. And so I went there, and luckily there's nothing wrong with my bones, which I could have told. I knew that. But it's the ligaments. It's like the tissue.
Meniscus.
So the MRI will really say what's going on, which I have to get tomorrow. But they gave me this shot that's like felt like a fucking tranquilizer. So now I can't feel nothing, but I feel
In your
all
knee?
right.
You can feel anything.
I can feel like I'm just scared. I think now because I don't feel nothing, I'm just scared. It's gonna pop and I'm gonna be on the floor. So I'm like, but they gave me crutches, and before it was hurting really bad, like really, really, like I wanted to cry bad. Oof. But yeah. So hopefully with this break with State of the Culture, I get to maybe get the surgery that I need. And be out for a few weeks, maybe months, but depending on what it is. But yeah, so today just wasn't my day.
Girl.
Wasn't a day.
Thank you for coming.
I know.
Child.
For real.
And you were in the hospital in Jersey?
No, I was in Brooklyn. I was at Stevens. I was in Brooklyn, and so I came to Brooklyn, and I went to the hospital in Brooklyn.
Well, we're glad that there's no bones or fractures.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew there was no fractures.
And everything's gonna be okay, no matter what the ending result has to be, whether it has to resolve in surgery or not. It's gonna be okay. So it's going to be okay. So we pray for your recovery.
Thank you.
And the doctors that touch you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's important.
Because that's really who it's up to.
You're
going to be fine. You'll be sliding, moonwalking, Soldier Boy, and like it's nothing.
Nope.
Not
the Soldier Boy.
Listen, that was a classic dance.
It was.
Okay?
It was. But I mean, I don't think we've done it in a while.
I know someone who got knee surgery before and shoulder surgery before. It's a lot. 100%. You will be okay on the other side, but just you have your mom.
I just want to run again.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. I don't know. I took running for granted. I ain't never in my life been this pissed about a certain. You know how you have like a certain injury. I don't know, but if you have a certain injury and it just keeps
happening,
bothering, yeah, and it keeps on going, like it's never ending. Like this shit will not stop me, and it's been going on for since the beginning of summer. So I haven't been able to do any activities that I really like to do. I really like running. I haven't been able to run. I just haven't been able to do anything. So it's very frustrating. Like I'm very upset at myself at this point because it's like
you can't be upset at yourself. Though.
I know, but I can be because I was the one in the beginning of the summer that was like, oh no, I can't get this done. Like Trish, I remember my best friend at the time. My best friend now, but my best friend was just like, yeah. Sorry, Trish. I'm groggy. I would never say at the time. But she was telling me, you need to get this check. You need to get this check. You need to get this check. And I was like, yeah, I know. But I have things to do. I know I was doing a campaign that required me to like be active. I could not give that up.
Right.
And so because I put money in front of my health, which I tend to do all the time, I lose now. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna be able to just do this fucking surgery shit without being pissed at myself for fucking months at a time. Cause I'm gonna be out of commission and not being able to do shit on your own. You know what I'm saying? When I popped it in 6 months ago, I couldn't do shit on my own. It was very frustrating having to ask niggas to do shit for you.
Well, how that you fixed that? You said it by putting yourself first. Cause that's really me it is, it's you, it's your frustrations. So put all of that first before anything, even if it means the bag sometimes.
But it is like December and things are slowing down a little bit, so maybe it's the time to like.
But I don't have the time. Not
even now.
When I'm thinking about when can I do it, I'm going to Atlanta. My grandmother is sick. I gotta go there. Then I gotta come here. Then I gotta have like Christmas regular times, and then. That's the shit. That shit lasts until next year because my family's birthday is all that whole piece. So that happens. unless I stay in Piscataway. Like, I have to really plan out my life.
Right.
I can't just, like, not do anything.
But if you stay in Piscataway, you be with your
I can't do that either, though. Like, I can't do that. Like, I would have to. I do have other engagements, too. I would have to say no. So that's the problem. I don't want to have to say no to these engagements that I already said yes to. So
the one thing
I gotta figure it out. It'll be figured out. I'm frustrated today, and I'm groggy and tired and over it. So that's it.
It's okay to stop and say no, even if it's something you said yes to before. When at the live podcast with Yvonne and Lovey was talking about how she was literally at the airport about to fly to an engagement, and she felt herself literally breaking down and having anxiety come over her, and she had something she would have never done. She called whoever she had the engagement with and said, listen, I would never do this. This is not like me. I put business first, regardless of whatever my health, whatever my situation is, but I feel myself breaking down, and I have to stop and put myself first. She said it was the hardest thing she ever had to do, but she said if she did not do that, she doesn't know who she would have been if she showed up to that engagement prior to putting herself first. And she said she said something along the lines like, there's no amount of money that's worth my health, because I can't show up if I'm not healthy. So you have to really it's okay to say no. Like, your bag is coming regardless, and you're going to have bigger bags coming. You just have to, even if you say yes, don't look at it as you, for lack of a better term, I'm not sure if I'm using this right, recanting on your promise and just pretty much saying that you're not capable, but you're knowing that your health is important. Like, you can't show up if you're not 100%. Like, it's not you showing up with the cold or sneeze or a cough. You're showing up like you're in pain. Like, you may not be able to be your best performing you, and that's okay. Stop for a second. That bag is always going to be there, and you know that. You just it's just your subconscious that's not allowing you to see that. And that's okay, because we all work hard and we're all just like, no, we got to put this first, we got to put that first. But just say no. Let them know your health is first, and take care of that knee. You don't want it to be 5 years from now and you can't walk, because then you're really not going to get a bag. So think about that.
Yeah. It's a series. I think it's just a series of things. I think it's like, when one thing goes wrong, or one thing just finally gets fixed, the other thing goes wrong. And so it's like a domino effect of, okay, now everything is going wrong. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's how I feel at this moment. That's that. One day I want to have a conversation on fibroids. I do want to talk about fibroids and its effect on Black women. I feel like a lot of time we don't really talk about that either. I did realize, I think now, more than ever, I realized how many Black women suffer from this and never know how to really try or start a journey on how to fix it, or get better, or feel better, or eat better, or do certain things. So this is just, it's all around. A bitch is tired. A bitch is tired. That's all. There's that on that. But I'm glad everybody else is great. I'm very, very proud of you, Safira, for the show that you put together. You put on, you sat there, you did your interview.
It looks amazing.
Thank you very, very well.
That excited.
You guys talked about it already.
We did.
But I'm so proud of you. I watched the Insta stories, and they look really nice. They look really good.
Thank you.
Come on, not little braids, your braids.
I feel like my ballerina with these braids. Anyway,
They're cute.
thanks. It was. Thank you, Deani. It was really a really great turnout, and we did speak about it, but thank you.
Speak about what? Your braids?
No.
We did talk about the event.
The event, yeah.
Okay.
She gave that in her update.
That's good. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other updates with me. I think the
State of the Culture is done, you said.
agriculture is a wrap for the year. God bless.
Congrats on
Then-
season 1.
Yes, thank you. I had a really great conversation with Princess Nokia for North
Oh,
Face
that's right.
that really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I am good at interviewing people. I had no idea that I was that good until people were crying and she was crying.
Oh, that's dope.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm actually okay at this thing. I might want to try it for real for Sundays at Scotty's. So I just, I did put the battery in my back with that. She's a very wise girl for her age. Very wise.
How old is she?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
24, 25. But the shit that she was talking about, I was like, sis, I don't know.
Tell you what, we weren't doing at 24.
Let me tell you,
That-
very in touch with her spiritual inner peace. Just no one can fuck that up for her. And she talked, she was very, very open about it. Then on top of that, we talked about intersectional feminism, which for me looks like a unicorn that doesn't even work. But we talked about that. We got really honest and open about that because she believes in intersectional feminism, and I was just intersectional feminism is when sorry.
I was about to say, do you want to explain?
So it's when being a female, trans, black, and with race, right? Black, white, Hispanic, all colors. Everybody knows, right, that we have to fight for each other, right? Even trans women. I have to say even trans women because some people are like, that's not real women. It's not real feminism. It is real feminism. You're fighting for people who believe that they are women.
Right.
So that means that you have to believe that white women are going to fight for you. I don't believe it. I don't see it. I know that I will continue to speak behind women of color. You know what I'm saying? I put the little quotation marks. But to believe that white women will be walking and talking and talking about the life expectancy of trans women, black trans women, I don't think that's a thing. I don't even think they'll even be talking about the life expectancy for black women who have kids, who die at childbirth. So I don't really believe it. She, talks about how she tries to leave them out, you know what I'm saying? Because they will never understand it. I believe that they will never understand what it's like to be overlooked. They have their own idea of what that means. Their fight for, what is it? When you have a kid at work, what's that thing called?
Maternity leave?
Yeah, like that's their fight. Their fight is like maternity leave payments. They want to get paid while they're on maternity leave. They're not fighting for people who die, like who are dying in the streets right now. They're not fighting for that. So why the fuck would I fight for you? Why the fuck would I back you up? Why the fuck would I be marching with you? What for what? You don't give a fuck about us. You don't give a fuck about anyone but the white women. That's why I say, and I said it in the interview, I was like, that's why I say it'll always be fuck Susan B. Anthony. She didn't give a fuck about anybody else. And she had black women working for her, which is insane to me, and left them behind once she felt like she got to where she needed to be, which is insane, which is the story of white people, period. But everything was built on the backs of black people, and that was built off the backs of black women. So yeah, that's what we talked about. We just talked a lot about feminism. We talked a lot about colorism. We talked a lot about exploring music, experimenting with different sounds. Where do you go to just discover new music? Where do you go just to discover old music? Things like that. She's a very wise girl. Love her. So we had a bond after that. I think we talk now. We text because
Yellow pals.
friends. It was really great. It was really important. And she said, she pulled me aside and she, teared up and she was like, I don't have people that speak like that about me. And that's because I think a lot of times we assume that people automatically speak like that about you. You're like, you the shit. You know that you're a light. You know that, and she didn't. You know what I'm saying? She kind of figured that, I guess, I don't know, people maybe didn't notice, but people do notice. I notice her work, and I wish that more people would tell her that her work matters. Her work means something. So, she's a beautiful soul. She was really, really genuine, like really, you know, some of the spirits you see, like you just know that they're extremely genuine, just very see-through. She's like that, very. So yeah, it was really good. North Face was happy, everybody was happy, so it was really good. I'm happy that it happened.
Congratulations.
That's major.
Thank you.
North Face. Oh, such a nostalgic.
Right, girl, don't even talk about that DC child. Everybody want to know face.
So what we talking? We talking about
Friendship,
friendships?
friends. How many of us
yeah.
have them?
Let's be
Friends. Ones you can. Oh, we'll get sued. We'll get sued. They'll take us down. So
Probably.
that's enough.
I mean,
for
this
singing.
acapella. I think we're
Yeah,
okay.
Houdini, that's the name of the guy.
Yeah. Shout out to Houdini.
Shout out to you.
We ain't even saying like 10 seconds, so
Who?
chill out. Fam.
Y'all funny.
So friends.
What do we want to talk about in terms of friends? D, I think you were really strong about this last episode that you wanted to talk about
I
friends.
remember.
Let's be friends.
Just in general, should we start the conversation generally?
What is a friend?
Who was your first friend?
Ha!
Who was my
Who was my first friend?
Damn.
My first friend. Girl or boy? Your very first friend?
My very first friend is my older brother, Mr. Seth.
Oh, okay. I can
Oh,
do that.
because you're younger.
I'm a kid sister. That was my first friend, but like, I feel like all of our siblings are probably our first friends.
Or family
No.
members,
And
cousins.
cousins.
Yeah, I was gonna
My
say-
brother and sister weren't my first friends. I had friends before they became people. So
Oh, you are also the
I'm
oldest.
the oldest.
Yeah, so.
My first friend was this kid named. Oh no! Technically, it was my cousin Randy, and then
Right.
and then my parents' best friend's son, who I'm still cool with to this day, Brock Brown, who's like incredible.
What's up, Brock?
So Brock, see you, boy,
Oh.
acting out here.
I'm taking back too. I think my first friend was my cousin Anik. We used to fight all the time. All the time. She would only visit during the summertime though, because she lived in Haiti. So she would come. I loved her just as much as I hated her. We used to fight all the time.
What's she doing now?
She lives in Arizona. I actually, you know what? You just put me on the spot. I need to reach out to her and figure out what she's doing out now. I think she was in school for nursing. I have to figure out where she's at with that. But my first friend that used to come over my house and family actually loved would have to be my homegirl Terry, who I've known since I was 6 and she was 7. Yeah, Kristen too. Kristen, my homegirl Kristen, I knew just a year before Terry, but Terry was coming to my house, and we danced ballet together. She would spend the night. We would, my father would take us to dance class. She was my first friend. We're 32. I'm 32. She's 33. So I've known her since I was 6.
I thought you was 23.
I mean,
You're really annoying.
you know, somebody did call me young this weekend.
D, who your first friend? Look at you looking in
That's
the
a
sky.
long
like-
time ago.
It was a long time ago. I think it was when I was 4, 5. I had a set of friends. It really was not my first friend. We went to the same school in Grand Concourse. So it was Miles Anderson, Clatrice, and Samara, and Samantha.
That 4 people?
I think it was 4 people.
Okay,
said
just
she
making
had-
sure
she
I
had a
was
set.
sure it was
She said
2
she
But it
names.
was a set. It really was a set of us.
gang.
right?
Just asking, just
It was,
confirming.
Wasn't
Miss-
nothing crazy.
We were in Miss Dorothy's class.
Oh,
And she was the greatest lady ever in life. And I think that was kindergarten.
I was about to say.
Right? No, I was
It
trying to think.
wasn't no
it's not
grade.
first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kindergarten, and we all went to each other's houses. We all hung out. We all my first boyfriend was Miles Anderson, because they would call us like, "Oh, that's your little boyfriend," and we would always hold hands together. I loved him. And then yeah, so I think that was my first.
How old were
Those were
you?
my first. I was 5.
5.
5.
Mad young.
5. And we were friends for a long time
Mm-hmm.
until probably people started moving away. I moved out of the Bronx. I think that was around the time where I think everything split. It was hard, to like keep up, because we had like social media, but not like now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't necessarily a great caller back then. I'm not a caller now.
I'm
not.
At least
I'm
you're
not
still
good
the
at
same.
phones before, so it was. Well, I start
Still
now.
the same.
So yeah, like we would sit on the phone and stuff, but I never really was a phone person. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But yeah,
You grew up. You grew apart.
I'm sad though. I'm salty that none of my friends, like, I never had like those childhood friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always lose the childhood friends. Like all those people that I just named, we never talk. Like no one, unless
To
they
this
talk
day,
on-
you still.
I mean, we follow each other on Instagram.
Well,
Why
that's
don't you
a
reach
start.
Cause I'm okay.
Well,
Then are you sad for real then?
No, it's just like it's sad because like watching y'all be like, she was my friend since we were 2, and I was like, oh, that's dope.
Friendships like that now.
I only have 2.
Even my first boyfriend ended up being my worst boyfriend. When
How
we
old were you?
together. My first boyfriend, it was cute. I knew him since I was 5.
God.
And then we got into a real relationship when we were 22.
Hey, 22, that was
whoa,
old.
that's
We all
that's
know.
a that's a
Yeah,
Could have absolutely said 13.
several
but you
year
said
gap
22.
there.
I don't care. But
That's dope.
to piggyback off what Dee was saying, I have a lot of friends that I'm still friends with to this day that I've known since either birth
Yeah.
or since, like, our parents are friends, like you were saying, or like I grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my friendships are like that. Like, my best friend I knew since I was 10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my best friend in the world I've known since I was 11, and we used to dance together too.
Right.
And then we're still best friends to this day. Like, there's little no. And then I have a lot of really close friends. Like, and then my other friends I met in high school when I was 14, and we're still all close. But it's not like I have friends who also understand.
Yeah.
Like when I go home, we're like, okay, let's get together. But I might not talk to them for like my other best friend is Ashley. I've known her since I was 14, and so like there's no like she understands. Like, but when we talk, it's not like we don't ignore each other though. Like I know she's working. Like when Kristen calls me, she went to Harvard Law. She's an incredible person. One of the most incredible people I've ever met in life. Like just one of those people that kills everything. Like type A to a T.
Wow.
Like crazy. She was the president of the Black Law Student Union at Harvard. Like I was like, nigga, how are you the president of the blacks at Harvard? That's kind of crazy. But anyway, she is always that type of person. And so like, you know, I think what we have is like a understanding that we'll always be there for each other. Like, so even if you do add more friends, we just,
You're the
hello,
core.
let me know who your friend is. Like, she's always like, I want to meet your New York friends. I'm like, well, you should come to New York more. Yeah. But yeah. Bex.
Oh, go ahead, Bex.
You
Do
remember
you-
your first friend?
No.
Debbie, your sister.
Yeah, we're counting siblings.
Yeah, we count
those are your
siblings and
first
cousins. I said
Yeah,
a
I
cousin.
thought that was
friends
like
and then
yeah,
got
that was
No,
given.
because my siblings weren't my first friends. We were 11 and 8 years apart. So essentially, that's different.
I
So-
mean, she might have been my friend, but my sister did not want to fuck with me when I was younger. I would latch on to everything.
How many years apart though?
We're
Little Bex.
2 years apart.
Oh.
Oh, that's
That's
healthy.
No,
I used to do that to Gretch.
no.
Gretchen would be like, I want to come. I'm like,
Why aren't
your
you?
friends are not my friends.
But y'all were in high school and middle school at the
Oh,
same
yeah, I
time.
used to-
Elementary.
I
I
think we're actually
always
3
wanted
years
that.
apart because I was when I was a freshman.
You
she
did?
was a
I
senior.
did.
I
You
would-
were a freshman.
and she was a senior, so we're 3 years apart.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
So-
get the fuck up out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always
it's a whole
wanted
different-
that.
Man, go-
No,
I always
it's
wanted
a
that.
completely different group of friends. I was always I would always do things to embarrass her
Oh, you were
intentionally.
Like what?
I was annoying.
Ooh, if Gretchen would have tried it. Gretchen was trying to be cool with it.
Lord, I used to say a lot of private shit.
Oh,
We used to share a bedroom.
Well, see, here's the thing.
what?
We used to share a bedroom, so I would reveal a lot of stuff, and she would just my mouth just made her hate me.
Nah, you're still the
Like,
same.
I would see her in the hall. Yeah, pretty much. I
Yes.
would see her in the hallway in high school, and I'd be like, Debbie! And she'd be like, oh my God.
My fucking freshman
Stop
sister.
doing that. And I'm just like, but we're sisters. It's not that, like, I was always like, it's not that serious.
You're so passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't care. I
give
go
you a
home with you.
Oh
Like, are you like Miss
never
Cool Kid at
imagined
high
that.
school? Like, oh, I can't say
she
hi.
was.
Like, no, No.
This is clueless hierarchy, okay?
No.
I don't know who you are.
That's
my
so
sister,
fucking cute though.
Man, we
God, I
got
would love
into
to see this.
fights, threw her into shower glass doors, locked the bedroom, just went at it.
You're right. Because now that I sit here and think about that, even though like I consider Seth my first friend, that
Fought.
sibling
Fought.
relationship.
Fought.
My nigga, what? And I'm the younger kid ass sister, and so I know we're 7 years apart.
That's me and Deanna.
That's
So-
a whole life.
Oh, yeah.
So like
That's completely
it's a
different
whole
lives.
life, but like at certain points, yes, we were children together, and then it was like for me, and I'm not to change it from friendships to sibling relationships,
siblings.
but for me, I had a hard
all know
time
that.
like respecting that he was older
Older.
than me, because it was like, it's me.
I
I'm
know
your
you.
kid sister.
Yeah, I
like
respect that.
you used to play me.
He was 18.
But you used to let me play
Yeah,
video
sorry.
games with you, or like
course.
fake like I'm playing them, but like, and I loved it because I'm your kid sister that wants to be up under you. But talk about fighting, like it was just.
I
it
didn't
was-
start fighting my sister till I was a grown.
What?
As
I have
21.
not-
That's when I'm
No, I was
scared to
fighting
fight.
grown.
Now that I'm grown, I'm scared.
Here's the
to
thing
fight.
about that.
No, I was
Now
fighting
that-
after my
separate kids.
Now
After
that
my
you're
father passed, we
Oh.
went through a lot. My
Yeah.
family went through a lot. I don't even know. Looking back at that now and seeing who I am today, I don't know who that Alicia was or who that Joanne was.
I
What's the
feel
age
like
difference between y'all?
11.
Oh.
That's a decade
That's your
and
mother.
a year.
Yeah.
that's your mother.
I mom.
A Jace.
The woman
That's
11 years
not
old
older
raised
than
you.
That's
She
your
could
mother.
have. But yeah, no. So
that's
we
pretty
went through a
cool.
lot. And at the time, she was also going through divorce. So it was my father passed, my mom, my nephew's a baby, and going through a divorce. We did not like each other. We were going through a lot. So I used to look up to my sister like, "You're my goddess queen,"
Right.
and then no, literally, I have pictures of me
Never
like
have I ever.
pouting when my sister was leaving the house to go to like prom, and I'm like sad that I couldn't go with her. I'm
Oh,
gonna show
you
y'all
were
these
really
pictures.
a little
No,
baby.
this was my sister was my idol.
That's so cute.
So just to get to a place where we used to literally fight. When I say fight, I don't mean like argue. I mean like physically
Yeah.
fight each other.
Yep.
Like two
Nigga,
bitches on a
I
street
feel
that
apart.
never met.
Right.
Like never
Two
met.
Wildcats, Yep.
It was
Yes.
crazy
Like
to see
still
that.
have marks on my leg.
Yes.
100%. Like
You know who gave me this? My sister.
Oh
I'll
my
tell you that story. What? Everybody asked me about this,
I was-
Mark.
Yeah,
My
man.
sister is ruthless.
we
boy.
came a long way.
You said
long
something
way.
about arguing now. I feel like arguing now, like I will ignore you. Like, fuck you.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up. Like, bye. I'll talk to you in 2 months.
with your
But I feel,
sibling.
yes, with Seth, are you serious?
months.
I'm grown. Like, there's no more like pushing you off type of stuff.
You're also an adult now. So
That's
you're
what I'm
just
saying,
Let me
like,
tell you how I'm gonna handle
Let me
this
tell you
now.
how I feel and how I'm gonna handle this.
Right.
I'll talk to you in 2 months.
Right.
Well, as the only oldest in the group, I definitely feel. Yeah, she is the oldest. You're the oldest in your
I'm the
house.
first. I'm the firstborn.
Born.
Yes.
Yeah.
Janet is the
But Janet is.
That's
my-
what I was
is the
like.
oldest.
That's what I was like. I
Janet
said.
is crazy.
Janet is
Jace.
Yeah.
No, I definitely. Gavin and Gretchen have been. When we were kids, we used to annoy each other. We hated each other.
Well, how many years apart are you
So
each?
me and Gretchen are 2 years, and then me and Gavin are 5 years.
Got it.
And so Gretchen and we are the same but very different. And so like we used to just go at it. But I was a little terror. Like I would take her Barbies and put them like under beds.
What?
And they'd be like, it would be Christmas Day, and they'd be like, where are Gretchen's Barbies? And
That's terrible.
I don't
She
know.
and you?
I was so. Here's the thing.
I see it.
I enjoyed.
I see that
As
shit.
you're saying it, I'm
I
like,
enjoyed
wow.
2 years of happiness.
Con
And I
artist.
actually
You
think there's a-
two happy
two happy
by
years
yourself?
by myself.
Got it.
I actually think
Do you
there's
remember them?
Yes. And I actually think that there are some, because if you notice in older kid relationships, that most of the time when they bring a new person into the room, especially when they don't ask for the kid, like when there's a kid there and
Because
they're
it's
like,
up to y'all.
oh,
Right.
Right.
you ask my parents. I asked them to take both Gavin and Gretchen back to the hospital when they came. I was like, all right, well, this has been great. Really, they're cute kids. You can take them
But
back.
we
where
don't
you
want
got
'em.
I don't need them. We're great here. We have enough. I am
Jesus
enough.
Christ.
And so
Wow.
I just remember feeling like
It's honest.
remember feeling like
Yeah.
all of my attention and love was taken away, and Gretchen was just so cute and beautiful that she still is now. And so I was like, okay, well, I was cute 2 seconds ago. Now no one cares. And that's one of the reasons why why I love my godmother so much. She was the only person that still made me feel like I was very special, even though Gretch had come and was like the new baby, and then Gavin came, and we both were like, all right.
Right, and he's a boy.
And we used to drag him around by his hands. Like, he was fat. He was born 10 pounds. So, like, we would drag him around by his hands. We
God
would hide
bless your
him
mother.
for our parents.
Lord.
Like, we would be like, where's Gavin? And we would forget where we put him in the house. Until we was terrorists. We was kids. Like, we
And
know
he's
it's
the only
bad.
boy, so it was different.
So,
that
Glad
boy
you
the
grew out of
furthest.
that and
it's
you love
up.
them now.
And so, I mean, so for me, I think I started to appreciate Gavin Gretch because when I was like you, I was like, don't come over here. Like, this is like me and Gretch used to sing Brandy and Monica versus each other, and I'm like, I'm Brandy.
You was dead serious.
Bet not,
And Gretch
bet
just
not
wanted
even
to sing
sing
with
one.
you.
No.
You know what?
If I hear it, we turning it off. Like,
You
there
know
was
what?
real life,
No.
gang. I was Brandy only. And so, like, I was
I
a
can't.
bad, I was a horrible older sister, which is why
In the beginning.
which is why now I'm like super like when I went to college, when I came back, I was like, oh my God, you guys are amazing kids.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize until I left how funny they are, how beautiful they are, how incredible they are, like, and how much of a disservice I did to them by not protecting them, by like being like I protected them in school, like
Even in high school?
don't even get it twisted. I protected them,
Okay.
but like in the house.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
me versus them. Like,
Got it.
I used to be like, I'm the oldest.
Fuck out of
Sit
here.
down. Shut up. Don't touch it. Don't, because I would.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
tell me I'm in charge.
Right.
I would be like, well, mom and dad are gone. Give me the remote.
Who, me?
Go
You'd
get
like
over
for
there.
me to discipline? Of course.
Of course, mom.
Yeah.
Like my mom would have to call Gretchen. Be like, "What's she do? Is she okay? Do I need to come home?"
Is she alive? Is she still alive? Is she
They
breathing?
will tell you this story of one time they both tried to gang up on me, and they said that I turned into like Jackie Chan, and I kicked Gavin on the left and Gretchen on the right.
I don't even know who
And they
that
both
person
fell
is.
on the ground. Like we used to fight when we were
Who
kids.
is that person?
I was a bad kid. Well,
that's
that's not
crazy.
true. I did not like.
Scotty Beam doesn't really believe you, but that's fine.
I believe it. No,
I'm not
believe
saying nothing.
we
No.
I know,
Where
I
you were
totally
about to
believe
go.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I did not like that I had to share attention. I liked it. I liked that I was like, my parents are my like I was like, I was here first.
Right.
These are my parents. You secondary and third children can
Secondary
get
and
them later.
Thirdary.
Beam, Scotty Beam, did you feel like that?
No, I wasn't like that.
Was it because
I
you
was
had?
there, no, I think I was excited. I and my mom could say this over and over. Like, I was always the kid. Like, I wasn't a bad kid. I wanted to like share with people. I like sharing toys. I was the opposite, I guess, of what I am today, where I'm like, fuck out of here. But
I'm the opposite.
younger me, I was like, yeah, no, definitely. And when they told me that DeAndre was coming, oh my God, I was like, Mom, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna hold the baby? Show me how to hold the baby. Like,
How
I
many
was
years
so
apart again?
invested. 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
So-
the difference. It was only 2 for me.
Right. Also, I
Yeah.
had 8 years of bliss. Like, I was fulfilled with like love.
Yeah,
And
you had 2.
Nah,
That's a total different.
She
like,
remembers
mindset.
8. She remembers.
I'm messing with Gia.
Scotty
Yeah.
Beam remembers
Scotty.
a smooth at least
Right.
5 out of the
Yeah.
8
At
years.
that point, you're able to ask.
That's
Right.
what I'm
Yes.
saying.
I was like,
I was,
can't
yeah,
speak.
true. So I was like,
Mama.
yeah, it was cool. It was dope. Like when DeAndre
When the kid
popped up, my sister was a bit more, Jana was a bit more like, oh God, help me. Like, I guess because she was the oldest and she would have to deal. Because I was like that. I was like Rebecca, where I wanted to be under my sister because she was always in the street. So I'd be like, I want to go out in the street too, until
Right.
niggas got real in the street. And I was like, oh,
I'm good. How many? I was gonna say, what's the
10 years.
10.
So
10 years is a long time.
she was like, what? She was
me.
17 when
Trust
she
me.
It's the yak.
when
No,
she
it's
finally
not.
came. She
It's
was
me.
17 and she was already out the door to go to college.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
so at 17 she was outside. She would hang out, whatever. And then one time I was hanging outside with her, and this boy across the street, his name was Mark. He had lit this rubber band. No, Patrick had lit the rubber band on fire and pointed it at me. And by the way, he was grown. He's like 17. Like, I was 7. So he had pointed it at me and to scare me, like, ha ha. And they were like, oh, ha ha, until it slipped.
Well,
and it
see,
burnt my whole my
is he still alive
hand.
today?
So my papa was home.
Here we
And my
go.
papa came down with the Smith and Wesson and was like, "Which one of y'all niggas did it? Which one of y'all niggas did it? Just tell me which one of the niggas." And my sister at the time was like, "Run, Patrick, run away, run far." But I always wanted to be around her, and because my mom was like, "Take your sister," it always was take your sister. Like I went everywhere with her in the Bronx. So then when DeAndre came, I was like, "Yeah." He don't do nothing. Like he don't like when it was first one. I was like, he don't like he don't do no fun stuff.
Like
Wake
what?
him up. I used to be like, "Mom, can you wake him up, please? So we could do stuff."
Like
and he'd
what?
just be looking at looking all dumb, and I was like, "Oh my god, you don't do shit."
I'm
So
sorry, he was a newborn
I
and
was
you were
pissed.
15. I'm
I was pissed, but
sorry.
then I got into an age older where I
Yeah.
became. I think we all were like moms. Like
Yeah.
Janet was a mom. More of a mom to DeAndre than me. I think I was still like the sister that was like, "Shut up," and I'm not feeding you and whatever. I was the sister to DeAndre, but then I became more like a mom because mom was by herself, so she would need as much help as she can get. So DeAndre immediately, like, although I treated him like a brother, I treated him like a stepchild. I really did. I did everything in my power to make sure he had that whole experience down pat. I know that he knows that in his mind, he knows like 12-year-old me, 13-year-old me, 14-year-old me. Around that time, that teenage time, I was more like, that's my little brother. We can hang out, we could do stuff. But the moment you fuck me up, like the moment you piss me off, I'm gonna send you to the room or whatever it is, or hang you upside down, do shit like that.
Oh
like
God.
I did shit to DeAndre. I know he's like, "I'm never gonna forgive you ever in life." I remember I put him in a chokehold. He had just
Oh my God.
did something to his knee, and he was
What you guys did with your siblings?
he was in 8th grade, and he just wrapped up his knee. And I don't know the math. If you're in 8th grade, what is it? You're 13.
Yeah, like 12,
13.
13.
So it was 20. So DeAndre was talking all crazy, and I got up one time and I just headlock. He was in a cast, so he couldn't fight like that.
Oh my god.
Put him in a whole headlock. I was like, "Don't you ever in your life, I don't care what status you in right now, it's gonna happen. Don't you do it." Me and Janet fought. We do hands. Like we don't do that no more, but because we don't do that no more. No one does that anymore. But I think now, because we're all older, we just sit and we have, we talk. Like, we're cool. I just wish we talked more. Me and my siblings, we don't really talk as much as we used to because nobody's in the house anymore. So nobody's forced to talk.
Yep,
So if you
that's
piss
what-
me off, just like
Yeah.
Saphira says, I don't have to talk to you for 2 months. Now, 2 months is too long.
I've gone 2 months without speaking to my brother. Not because
Can't do
not
that.
because
Can't
I mean
even go a
because
week.
we're both stubborn. So it's like, and my mom has tried to intervene too. Like, "Oh, are you gonna call your brother?" And I'm like, "No." My mom has
Why
been on
not?
FaceTime with him. I mean, I'm seeing him now. I love my brother to death. Why not? It's just
I just need a break.
I don't think I ever fully grasped the difference between father and him, and me seeing like him in a fatherly role, I guess. Toward me, I guess once I became a teenager, started feeling like, so the breakdown of it is, my family dances, we all dance. My brother and my sister-in-law dance for DTH. So when I became maybe 15, 16, my brother and my sister-in-law were teaching at my mom's studio. So they were my dance teachers. So that was a whole other type of relationship.
Yeah, that's
And DTH is Dance Theater of the Heart.
DTH Dance at Harlem. That's not my mom's dance studio though. But I'm just saying that's where they trained.
Right.
But that became a whole other type of relationship.
where he's like,
So
always the
that's
authority.
really right, and it was, and ballet is already a discipline of dance,
Yep.
and it's already strict, and it's already, you have to look like this, you have to have certain lines. So that's really when a lot of tension started to stir up in our relationship, and I guess I've never not been a sassy kid, like that's always been a thing. So that's just where we used to butt heads, but like. We've had we've had fights as adults and stopped talking for 2 months. And my mom, like I said, my mom would be like, "You're not gonna call your brother. I'm on FaceTime with Seth. You're gonna come. Nope, I'm not here."
Oh,
And then, I mean, like when 2 months, hey,
so,
how you doing?
I mean,
I miss you.
the thing about like siblings that is super wild is like, if you really think about it, all the people in the world, like those are the people that you were put on this earth with.
to kind of like journey with.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm always like, now that I got all the meanness out of those first 17 years, because once I came back from college, I was like, you guys are so cute. What are you doing tonight? And then they were like, what?
Yeah,
Why are you being so nice?
I'm good.
What are you doing? And then I just had to like because I was in an acting class one day, and they were asking me like to say something about the exercise was an improv exercise, and it was like, tell someone you really love something they deserve to hear. And I started to talk about Gretchen and how much she means to me and how much of a light she is and how like she just is so beautiful. And I broke down and started crying, like, like I was shaking in class. And I was like, yo, I really love them.
love y'all.
Like,
Right.
I really, really love y'all. Like, I don't think you grasp the concept of love in high school in the way that you necessarily do like in college when you have to leave someone. Like you said, when you're in the house every day, you like, what's up? You good? All right, bro. Like, you gonna give me that sandwich or what's up?
Right.
Like when you leave, you're like, oh man, like I actually miss
Love
us
you,
talking.
yeah.
I love you. You're everything. Like, what are you doing? Like, you realize the similarities. You realize where your parents went wrong, where they went right. Like,
I just
like-
had that whole breakdown.
like
with
that's
Steph
so
last week
interesting. So
after
like now
Thanksgiving.
I see like me and Gretchen, we get in our arguments, but I'm also like, all right, I love you. I don't agree with what you're doing sometimes. I think you should do it this way. I'm your older sister, so I'm gonna tell you what it looks like, but I'm gonna love you regardless. So if you, like, we might fight, and then I'm like, all right, I love you.
Right.
Chill out. And then with Gav, he's so cool. My brother is literally like a little walking angel. Like, I'd be like, dog, you don't want to do nothing? He was like, nah, man, I'm just going to chill. Like, just stay prayed up. You know, I got a game tomorrow, so I just got to study. Like, just. And I'm like, you're just so cute. You better not be talking to no girls.
Yeah.
And so he does. It's a thing. But
Right.
yeah, so for now, I'm like, now, you know, we're older.
I think I've noticed that my brother was like looking at me. I think that's when I was like, oh.
Gotta
okay.
set an example.
Yeah, like everything. I think my mom had brought it up. He wouldn't like buy a pair of sneakers until
He saw yours.
until I said it was okay.
Oh, that's
So
so
when I was
cute.
in college, they would have to call me and be like, your brother,
Wants to know.
we're going school shopping and he won't buy these sneakers because he thinks that you know what you're talking about. So here's the phone.
So
He's like,
cute.
hey, Dee, so I got these sneakers and I don't know what kind of sneakers are they? And they would tell him, and I'm like, send me a picture. So he sent me a picture. But you like them? And then I'm like, yeah, I like them. He's like, all right, Mom, we can get these. Blah, blah, blah.
That's so fucking
I think,
cute.
you know, DeAndre has always been watching me, like watching what I do. And because, you know, I don't know, I didn't realize 'cause I'm a girl. So I'm like, he doesn't really watch what I do.
Right.
But because I was such a boy, too, and because I think I protected him so much all the time. Like, I loved fighting when I was younger. So at any time if I felt like somebody tried
was messing with your brother.
I
Was
would
ready.
try it. And
I
because
fought boys for my brother before.
I do it without
Hell yeah.
hesitation.
I rode
don't
up.
give a fuck.
When they was on the porch, I rode up and I was like, "What you were saying now?" And then their mother came out and it was like, "What's all the noise? What's going on?" And I was like,
your
"Do you know
mom.
your sons?" Da, 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 da.
Is your brother younger than you?
Yeah,
How many years apart?
4.
Oh, that would've been
Yeah,
great.
you fucking somebody up for your 4-year-old. You
I
4
still
years
will.
younger. Hell yeah, I don't give a fuck how old we are.
Years younger.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
be
Where your sister
75
at?
swearing
I
up.
remember this girl wouldn't give my brother his hat back on the bus. He got off the bus and I had to pick him up from the bus every day. So he goes, she won't, and he's a gentle giant.
Yeah.
He does not argue. He don't fight. He got a really
So polite.
He got a mouth, but he don't he's very polite. Yeah, just all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
All
Like,
the, like
all
all the
all
time.
the time. Really respectful, compassionate out the ass. Him and Janet are very soft, like but lovingly, like very soft. No, but soft in a good way where I envy it sometimes because they're just so compassionate. They won't find it anywhere in their heart to be upset. Like if they're upset, they'll just walk away. They'll come back in a better spirit. That's DeAndre and Janet. Me, I'd be like, I am upset everywhere. But the girl wouldn't get the hat, and he's like, she won't give me the hat back, but it's okay, Dee Dee. I said, oh no, it's
No,
not
you
okay.
gotta get this hat back.
So she gets off the bus. I said, that's not your hat. Mind you, we're 8 years apart. This girl, whoever this little girl is, but she got a sister who go to my high school,
Here we go.
and
Here's
she
the
came to
beat.
pick her up. So I was like, hey,
I'm already scared.
sure there wasn't a hey.
no, I said hey.
Oh,
I said,
okay.
hey. That's not your hat. She was like, DeAndre gave it to me, and DeAndre was like, I did not give it to you. So I said, you just heard him. Give him his hat back. So she gonna put it behind her hand, her back.
See now.
So I looked at her sister.
No, she was too much.
Right. And her sister in high school wasn't like that. Like, she wasn't like that. So I was like, you gonna get your sister to give me my brother's hat back, or else it's gonna be a problem. So then she was like, give her the hat back. And she was like, no, I don't want. So she started crying and she sat on the floor. I said, you not gonna touch her? Cool.
I'm gonna take this motherfucking hat.
Took the hat back, and the sister was like, you can't do that. I said, and what are you going? Are you going to fight me? Are we cool? Good. Because you know what I do. Stop.
And it's the belongings of your brother as well. Let me tell you what I am gonna do.
But no, even if my brother's just so, he's an angel. Like,
I get
he
it.
don't, I'm pretty sure she snatched it and he was like, I'm not going to fight for you back.
Right.
Like,
Hold on a
cool.
second.
Good.
Hold on a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
So it pissed me off always that DeAndre was this like very quiet person that doesn't bother a soul. So for you to have the extra energy to bother him,
Right.
I gotta bother you now. And so I wasn't gonna hurt the girl. I just needed the hat back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I am. Like, I want to protect him forever. Like, I never ever I love him beyond my heart, but I want to make sure that I protect that boy with everything that I have in my heart. And that's it. I've always been like that. I think I've been like that since I was a kid. I'll always be like that about him. I don't care how old he gets. He's about to be 20 this month. Wow. So I know he's like, oh, me. But he's like, you don't have to protect me anymore. Like, I'm grown. I'm like, you're not grown. You're not grown. You're not grown until I die. You're not grown.
So let me ask y'all this to bring it back to friendships. Are there any friendships that resemble your sibling relationships, bonds, like
resemble? Because I mean, I think in my friendships from home, they resemble my relationships with my sister, but only because like once I realized like it's my job to make sure she's good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't be a better friend to my friends than I am to my
your
sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't, like when you're a kid, you can kind of put that immaturity on being a kid and being like, well, I
was young and naive.
That's how they treat her on Lizzie McGuire. Like, like everybody's annoyed.
That's a new voice.
So
it's hilarious.
It is.
Disney voice.
It is.
It's your kid voice. Right. But like, I realized that like that's my person. Those, if anything, those are my two kids, and they know that. They're like, we're grown. Gretchen's like, I'm 2 years younger than you. I'm like, prove
that
it.
Don't matter.
Where's
And
the birth
2 years
certificate?
is really not that far apart.
It's far. And so, but now I'm Gretchen is a person you can't, like, she is her own person, her own, like, you just have to let her bloom.
Yeah.
With my brother, I'm in the same way. I'm like, you're 3, and he's like, dog, I'm more grown than you. I'm like, you're 3.
No, you're a baby.
You're a child. I would tell other people, like the girls, be like, "Oh my God, your brother's so handsome." I said, "I don't know you anymore. This can end right here." Me and Bex have had several times. I'll tell Deani to fight you because I'm not fighting you. But I'm fighting. Some times where I'm like, "Woo, no," because he's just too good of a person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you mess him up. I've done too much.
Yeah.
We've done too much, and that's just that. But at the end of the day, I think that like the friendships are like how you treat people is what you really start to like notice. I'm like, hold up, why do my friends feel better than my brother and sister?
Right.
What is the reason? Why
Why
did
what?
your last friendship end? Whatever friendship it was, why did it end?
That's a good ass question.
Whatever friendship that had just disintegrated and died and goodbye, why did it happen? Let's hold ourselves accountable with this one. Right?
You're not gonna say that before I speak.
No, I'm just saying
Jesus.
all of us. I'm just saying all of us because I don't want all the stories to be, well, she
That bitch.
right.
She was a bitch.
No, I'm not.
And she was a bitch.
Yeah, I know me
And
better.
that's why it ended. Nah, that's not true.
Perfect.
That's
Nobody.
fucking lie.
I am perfect. She did everything. She's
Oh, fuck her.
Can't wait.
I think for me, I'm trying to think if there was one more recent. I don't think there really was. This is like the last person that I literally called like my best friend. Like, I don't call it, I never say best friend. Like, this is my good friend. This is my close friend. This is my longest friend. But I won't ever say this is my BFF. Like, I don't say that anymore. So this was like the last person that. Right. That too, but I think you can have a few, but whatever. That's another conversation.
I'm sorry. If you didn't hear me, I said, how many best friends are you allowed to have?
I think that's a whole other conversation, but
that's
the capacity.
I'm like, let's talk to this one first.
Right.
Put a pin in that.
Right.
How many best friends?
Me and this friend fought. Physically fought. We were grown ass adults, like 20 something,
How many
6,
fights
7.
you been in since after 20?
It's crazy. I was about to say all of my real ass fights were after 20.
Don't you know?
No, but I really think
She was in the ring on Sunday.
I really think it had to do.
That was her.
I really think that had to do with the passing of my father, because I was not like that prior. I didn't give a fuck after the fact. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care who the fuck you were. If you were my sister, my mom, my close, I didn't give a shit. So whatever energy I had for you,
that was it.
I didn't care. Like, cause I was also very much so like, oh, you could walk over me, leash, because I'm a caring friend, and you know I'm gonna be here for you, even though you might not be the best of friend to me. I'm gonna be here. I started to realize after my father died, like, what friendship meant and how people treated me after the fact, that I was like, fuck all of y'all niggas. And I could have been wrong too. Like, I'm not saying that I was 100% correct in my like thought process with that, but I didn't care. So a lot of the fights all the fights that I ever talk about happened after 20 something years old, which I'm not like bragging about, but fast forward, we fought physically, and in that fight, she said something about my family. And to me, it's like, we could
want to talk about our mother.
so we could fight all we want. Like, me, I fought my sister physically. She's still gonna be my sister. I could fight my best friend physically. We could still figure that out. But what I can't do,
That's right. I don't
no,
know.
well, for me,
Oh yeah, for you. Yeah, I'm just thinking.
what I
Each
can't
their
do
own.
is I can't get to a place where you say something about personal things that I've told you in my life that I confided in you in. So for you to, in a moment of weakness for both of us, to say something about my family, I was extremely offended by it. And I tried to, you know, bring that friendship back, and I just couldn't, because I knew that just wasn't me, because I didn't do that in that situation. I'm not saying that I could have had a million things to talk about her about. I just would never do that, even in a moment of weakness for us, because that's essentially what it was. We were fighting about something completely stupid. Whatever, it happens. Sisters fight, brothers fights, cousins fight, whatever. But what I can't do, and what it shows me, is a sake of character and what I think you were thinking about me when I confided in you in that moment. So I couldn't trust that anymore. And because I couldn't trust that anymore, it was hard for me to rekindle that friendship. And I'm not even gonna act like I don't necessarily miss like conversations and things. Like, there's only certain things that she would understand, but I'm not necessarily mad at the decision either. It's just sad that that's where we are, and it's just, I don't know. That was for me. That was a few years ago as well.
So the last thing that happened in that friendship was the fight.
We fought, and then we tried to rekindle, and I just couldn't do it. And I just was kind of like, I wasn't a good friend, because I was such, and this is one thing that I take pride on, is when I'm your friend, I'm a good fucking friend until you give me reason not to be, and then I don't give a fuck anymore.
I got another question from that.
What's a good friend?
How do you know you're a good friend? But let's all
Touche.
finish.
Let's
Let's go around about and then come back to that.
Wait, we need to break these questions down.
Because I have another question too.
Wait, what's the first question that you had just said?
How many best friends
Can you have?
are you allowed? Because
Come on, Notes.
Allowed is a very weird word. Who's giving me permission?
All right.
But
All right.
somebody with, hey, this is my best friend. This is my best friend. This is my. Sometimes when I see it, when people like say that over and over again, I'm like, are they really your best friend? Or are you just using the word best
Listen.
friend?
I mean, I feel like
Wait.
so. What?
We're not
You're
gonna
going
get into
into
that
that.
yet.
Yeah.
So I'll answer the first question. I don't think I've had. She asked
Y'all wanna
what's
order
the
food?
last friendship that you fell out with
Yes.
and why.
Yeah.
I can't really say that I ended friendships with people. I have had falling outs with friendships this year based off of the maturity of the friendship and then our maturity separately as well. I feel like I needed to do a lot of growing up and learning how to communicate and managing my emotional intelligence as well in order to be a better friend for said person or said persons. I've been in other situations where people have tried to only be my friend because of what I can do for them and not what they can do for me. And I feel like relationships, friendships, no matter what, they should be reciprocal. It should be a two-way street. So, I mean, that's pretty much it to answer in a nutshell. It wasn't no, like, fight like Alicia, but
Oh, come on.
it was several arguments and several, like, you can't talk to me this way, or you're disrespectful, or you're judgmental. And a lot of, like, looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, am I really this way? Am I really this way? So, I mean, it just was a time to grow up type of thing. That's why I had fallen outs. Amen.
I hate you.
I was okay. Two girls I grew up with. I will not say their names. I don't even know if they listen. But Lord, we ran. That's why when I text y'all, I love City Girls, because that reminded me of the two friends that I had grew up with when I was younger. Like, when I tell you I was a different person, I was a different person. I believe it. Different person. Like, it's 3 a.m., just got out of the basement party, calling up whomever. Get up, wake up, come get us around home. Each one of us. One in Cambria Heights, one in Queens Village, one over in Far Rockaway, and like it would happen. Or like give us a long time ago, or like free phones or free Nextel plans and stuff like that. Like it would just be like just having fun. We wasn't scamming nothing because we didn't know what that was back in the day.
But, I mean, it was scamming.
But we was trying to see how far that line could go.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us today.
But
You had all that back then too?
yeah, it was different. Lord. But what happened is, so one of them, her grandmother was really, really sick. And I really didn't. My understanding of family is different than a lot of people, and I came to learn that fairly later in life. I just thought that no, like really, like I didn't understand relationships to be different than what my experience was of relationships. So when she was like, or even like emotional attachment to things, and when she was like, my grandma's not doing too well, and I might be wrong in this, she's like, my grandma's not doing too well, and she just needed her friends around her. I was just like, in my mind, she'll be fine, like, because in our Haitian culture, it's like it'll be fine. You just brush over it. Emotion is not a language that we speak. So, I mean, granted, she was Haitian too, but for me, I didn't process it the same. And I also was dating somebody, and I was incorrectly choosing him at the wrong moments instead of my friends. And I wasn't understanding that what friendship was. And them two are still friends to this day. Like, just seeing them sometimes, because we have a mutual friend who lives in Florida, and just seeing them sometimes go to visit her, and it's just like, kind of stings like, I fucked that up. I didn't show up for genuine friends, for shit that we've been through for years on years on years. Didn't even go to the same high school. We're still like, summers were hours. I would leave the house at like 7 a.m. and I come back till 4 a.m. Go to do our nails together. Go from
this is your homie.
Everything. Like the whole day would sneak out of the house to go to we met in junior high school. And then one of them went to a different school, and then the remaining two went to different high schools, and then we just all kept in touch anyway. But then it was just bad decisions, and I don't want to blame it on the fact that I was young, but I was young. I didn't understand friendship like that in the past. I didn't understand connection. I didn't understand somebody outside of my family being as important as a family member. So I let it fizzle out. And I went to college like 3 hours upstate Binghamton, and the distance just made it worse. Like, it's like they never came to visit me in college either. Like, it was just dead at that point. And to this day, that one girl will not like talk to me or not. I've seen them at barbecues. You know, it's a Queens thing where it's like a backyard barbecue thing. And I've seen one of them, and she approached me and was like, yeah, that was all in the past. Like, it's stupid. We've grown now. Like, it's whatever. It's all love. I hope everything's cool. But the other one was just like, till the day I die, I will never. Mm-hmm. Like, it hit her that much. And I just, mm-hmm. So it's just like, I
Have you ever apologized?
I mean, I felt like if I approached her, it would be physical. So I've never,
Really?
you know what I mean? I wish her the best. I mean, I don't know what else to do at this point, but it's just like it happened and it didn't last. And I mean, I hope she knows that I am. I mean, officially, I will apologize and say I am sincerely sorry for what happened between us. But I mean, if anything, it taught me an invaluable lesson about how I want to approach friendships and move forward. Right. But another friendship that changed or dissolved or whatever the case was because of something I did wrong, and I was doing too much. I wasn't being extra, but I was doing a lot of because of what I've learned from what friendship means, I was doing the polar opposite to really invest and do a lot and show up and thinking that it would be I don't do best friends. Best friends. Best. You're a friend or you're not. Mm-hmm. Period. I kind of feel the same way. Okay, you're really best friends. It's kind of like, when did we left best friends in high school? As adults, as we mature, are you my friend or not? Right. So if I'm titling you as such, I'm going to give as such. But then it's wrong to think that just because you give, you should expect back the same thing. Listen. You have to acknowledge that person is not you. That person is exactly who they are. Will always be who they are, might change, but you have to acknowledge that person is not their... They're not you.
You're not them.
And you're not them.
That's hard, bro.
And that's completely okay. And that's where I went wrong, is that I was just no, it can't be that way. But then you have to, that's part of accepting okay. No, that's acceptance. I don't know.
If you're trying acceptance. To change somebody, how are you their friend?
Not change them, but there are just certain things as a friend, regardless.
What are the expectations?
Here's the thing.
It's just.
I think here's the thing. And when I was going through it, it's really hard, because as I was going through it, I was seeking advice from a lot of people, and I was just I don't even know if I'm being fair in this. But there's a very thin line, which is only up to your individual self to draw, to decide where you're going to draw. There's a very thin line between acceptance and abuse. Yep. And you're going to have to determine when that person crosses that line, and then what you're going to do because of that. But that is, everything goes back to you. To you.
It does,
draw the line and decide what is a friend, what is not a friend, what am I going to accept because I love the person, what am I not going to because it's abusive. And then you proceed.
I definitely learned that in my late 20s, early 30s. That took a long time, because the one thing that I thought was, as good as a friend as I'm going to be to you, I need to at least get 25% of that back. And I wasn't getting that sometimes. And I was okay with still giving you 110%, because that's just me. I'm just a giving ass person that I just give. And even if you tell me, I had a really close friend of mine tell me that she felt like I was competing with her whole life. And the entire time I saw it opposite. I literally thought it was me and her against everyone. So for her to look me in the face and be like, I was competing with you because I felt like you were that. And I was like, how did you see that when all I ever did was want you to be like my sister? Mm-hmm. What did I give to you otherwise to make you feel like that? It's crazy.
Oh, okay. For me, it's a twofold situation. One happened in college. It was because of a dude, of course. I won't tell the whole story just because there's too many people involved. But long story short, it was a guy that I kind of knew wasn't really anything great. He was just out here. And I mean, he seemed cool. We were friends. And so, and then he had a mutual friend who was one of my good friends. And she was like, you should talk to him. He's great. So after I got my relationship, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to him and see, whatever, what's up. And throughout that time, I had befriended this girl. It was we met, and it was immediately, we clicked, we were close, we went to parties together, it was a thing. And so she one day got mad at one of our friends, wouldn't tell me why though. She was like, I just can't tell you. I'm not talking to her anymore. And they were close from like the day they got on campus. So I'm like, what happened? And she was just like, she's just telling my business and I can't. And I was like, well, what's the business? And she's like, I can't tell you. And I'm like, okay. So the business ended up being that she was talking to the dude that I was talking to. And so it ended up being,
Wow.
yeah. And I only found that out because they had a conversation after we had already like been talking. So they were like, oh, you, so you're friends with Gia? And she was like, yeah, like how are you dating her? Like, you know, we're friends. He was like, I had no idea y'all was friends. Mind you, Rutgers is big, but it ain't that big. So somebody in here was
new.
I didn't know because she didn't want to tell me. And I would never ask him who he talks to because that would be a 4-year page report of half the campus. So it was like, you know.
He got a roster.
He got a roster. He was a football player. He was out here. I was like, all right, I just want to see what's up. Like, and then, long story short, she comes over one day. She calls me over to her apartment one day. I was hanging out with the guy, and he gets a call, and he's like on the phone, and he's like, no, look, I'm gonna call you back. And then all of a sudden, he tripped. Like his whole vibe changes. He's like, so you gonna leave or what's up? Like, and I'm like, everybody is acting weird tonight. I was like, no, yes, goodbye, good night. In the car, no lie, I put the key in the ignition. I had a call from her. She was like, I need to tell you something. Come over to my house. And I'm like, so I didn't even put two and two together. I'm thinking somebody died. I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking like, oh my God, like she hates me. What did I do? I'm thinking about like, did I text her wrong? Did I send something? Like at this point, I'm super scared.
Right.
Pull up to her house and she's like, yeah. So I just want to let you know that like the reason why I stopped talking to our other friend is because I was talking to the boy and I've been talking to him for like a year. And I'm like, now you got me out here looking crazy because I'm thinking like you really could have just told me and I would tell her that he hit my phone.
How did you keep that from me for a year?
It just wasn't necessary. Like there was just, she was, I think, and again, I don't know this because we didn't really talk about it after, but I think she was embarrassed that she was talking to him.
Okay.
I think. Mm-hmm. Like she was like, I probably shouldn't be one of the girls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wasn't the best selection. Mm-hmm. Mind you, in college, everybody had about 4-5. Okay? Everybody had about 4-5 girls they was talking to. The dudes was out here because it was like
6, 7.
a 1-to-6 ratio. 8,
I'm like,
9 to 10.
Okay?
Right.
4, 5, 6, 8,
Every
7, 8, 9.
I mean,
Some of them.
I'm not saying. I'm just reporting.
Especially the dudes
From
who
the yard.
are athletes. And so that's not a thing. That's why they tell you not to talk to athletes. But I'm the type, I have to find out for myself.
yourself?
I have. Thank God this all happened.
It doesn't
Thank
burn. What's this fire feel
Thank
like?
God this happened before I started working in the NBA. Could you imagine? By the time I was working in the NBA, I was like, hell no. No athletes. Y'all are all crazy. Because I lost friends from this situation. So long story short, we tried to rekindle. I tried to put it past us. I was like, you know what? No man is going to get in the way of this. We are
Friendship,
friends.
yay.
Women empowerment. We're going to be friends no matter what. And then
2 days later.
and he was trying to call me. I blocked him. He pulls up outside my dorm. He's like, we need to talk. We never were friends. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So then throughout the next, over like 2 months, she also was mutual friends with my roommate at the time. She would come over and then her energy started to change because she was like, you should still talk to him because he really likes you. He thinks you're incredible.
After a year,
He's
of
in
her
love
investment?
with you. Right. He's in love with you. Like, not in love, but he's like really in like with you. He's like, you know, he told me because they were friends who just happened to, you know,
Hang out.
and so hang out. And
overnight.
so she was like, I'm going to stop. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk to him. And then, of course, my dumb bum ass, I did start talking to her again. And then next thing you know, she's like, okay, well, we're not cool. Or she started to come at my character. Like, would be on calls and all of us be getting ready to go out. And then she'd be like, I don't really feel like coming over there no more because Gia, you do a lot. And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Wow.
A month ago, you would come over without asking, and now
You know.
No, I'm a lot.
Right.
I'm a lot. And then I was like, you know what? This is it for me. This is it. This was it. And so I'll see her. To this day, we cool. Like, 'cause it was like, once we both now look back at the situation, child, I could have saved myself a whole lot of just emotional sanity if I would have just walked away from both of them. But I wasn't strong enough. And I was stigmatized. To be completely and totally honest as to what the situation was. So,
Usually what does it?
you know what I'm saying?
Child, can't see nothing else.
I was listening to Jill Scott. Why does my body ignore what my mind says? I'm gonna keep it in mind, but I'm thinking instead. That one, I was like, why she make that song about me like that? Right. With breakfast so gone, girl. I was so
on it.
gone. And so yeah, that was the end of that. Like,
Friends,
that's
like-
the only friends that situation messed me all the way up because all of my close friends are girls, and I have three really great male friends, 4 really great male friends, but all of my close friends are girls. So I don't know that life. I don't know.
But then, you know, people always say there's a guy code. There's no such thing for the girl equivalent. But it seems like there's.
I got a girl
I feel
code.
like I was about to say, I feel like there is a girl code. I just feel like because I have a best friend who the stories that you're expressing, her and I have gone through those things, but we've seen the other side of it. Like we lived together in college. We stopped talking. I've been locked out of the apartment. The lights haven't been paid, and I've walked in like, what the fuck is going on? Or she's walked in and like not known what's going on with the apartment. But we've just seen the other side of it. I think it has a lot to do with how women communicate with each other, how women champion for each other, how women understand each other. Because at the end of the day, we really are all the same.
Men and women or
No,
women?
Women.
Oh.
We go through the same struggles. We enjoy the same things. We come up differently. So I feel like that's what influences how we deal with certain situations. But
Why are people groaning over
No,
there?
I never really thought about it. I've always, my friendship lifeline is weird. Like, in high school, I had a bunch of girls that were friends, but a bunch of rough ass girls. Like, they're my friends. Like, they're still my friends, but they were like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, we like to fight and be loud and
We
do
like to
shit
fight.
like that. But my thing is, like, I had a best friend who was like my soul sister, like my sister. Like, I would fight. I throw hands for this one person.
Listen.
Literally fight all her battles. I'll do it, like, without hesitation. It doesn't mean, like, anytime she
Don't look
calls,
at her
it's
wrong,
down.
nothing.
Fight over on Facebook. Fight on your MySpace. Fight
In
like,
person.
It be whatever it is. It's a
I got it.
Right, I got it. You don't even gotta say nothing. So we were friends since freshman year high school, and we were inseparable ever since until we got to this age where it was like
This age now?
this age, like 20, I would say in my 20s,
Early 20s.
23, 22.
So a few years ago.
Right. So it started to get really murky. People started to get jobs. And I think that's what something weird was happening where life was happening. And I guess both of us couldn't really keep up. And she didn't want to keep up. I think it was like, and although like in relationships with men, meaning like boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm one to speak out about issues. I can't bring myself to do it in friendships. I'm one of those people that really will just stuff it inside, not say anything and be like, all right, cool.
Agreed.
It's fucking me up, but whatever. And let it fuck me up.
That's a fact.
But friendship.
But friendship.
You're always, yeah, but
Right,
it's a
because,
fact.
like, I don't want to argue with you. I respect friendships so much more than I do relationships with boyfriend and girlfriend. So it's so much more like, I'll deal with this. This will be okay. Fine. until I can't take it no more. So I think I had invited her to one of my like who's next, one of my first who's next that meant a lot to me, and she said she was going, and then she never came and never texted me why, never called me, never did anything. And so after that I was like, oh yeah, fuck you, like never again, don't talk to me. I think mine has a lot to do with support, especially if I call you my best friend.
And that's hard for some people to say. So if I say that for you, that's important.
Call you my best friend, you better believe that I'm gonna be there,
right?
Like, and you should be there for me. And because this is a new step in our lives where we're not fighting in the streets no more, we not yelling at birds across the street no more. We're growing up,
and this is important to you.
It was weird that we weren't doing that shit anymore. Now we had to be grown ups and like do grown up respectable shit. So like I don't think there was room for us anymore. So we had to leave.
Fair.
It was the biggest heartbreak I've ever been through. Ever. As far as like a friendship is concerned, it was so hard because you talk to somebody every day. This is a girl I was talking to every day, texting every day. She picked me up at, when I lived in Piscataway. She picked me up. We'd be riding through the streets, just doing nothing but just being birds. That's all we wanted to do.
And you looked at her like your sister.
That was mine.
Like literally, you could look at her and say, "This is my sister, so and so."
Like,
I feel you.
You kind of highlighted it too because I know you said friendship, but I feel like no matter what, it's all relationships, and it all takes work,
right?
And it all takes wanting to equally put in the work because what you're describing, like that's how I feel about my best friend. Like that's my sister. We grew up together. We went to college together.
Right.
We've seen several shit together. We've stopped talking. You're my sister. Like you're like blood to me.
Right.
Yes.
The problem is me and her never argued. So when there was an issue, it was like, whatever.
Yes.
Call me tomorrow and let it go. No. You know what I'm saying?
Which wasn't healthy.
So it wasn't healthy.
In retrospect.
Because
I don't argue.
I can't.
Really,
like, I don't want to. And I fear losing, like, before. Not now. Now, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But before, I was really like I don't want to lose this friendship. Like, I don't want to lose her. I really love her. I really, really want her in my life. She makes me laugh. Like, it was like a relationship.
You get me.
So, right. So, yes, you get me. You get the jokes.
Which is hard, yeah.
You get the inside jokes. You get your mannerisms. She's the only person that'll look at you and be
you
like,
got that look language.
Yup. Right. If something happens and no one else would catch it, this bitch would. You know what I'm saying? And look at you like,
I'm just saying.
Somewhere y'all gonna laugh.
Bitch, did you see?
Right.
Did you? Yes. And then she,
Yes.
bitch. Yeah.
You really have to
Yeah.
That's a whole different type of love.
That's synergy. It's different.
Insane.
Yeah.
So to think that, okay, I'll never find that ever again is like, damn, I'm really out here. Like, this is the biggest breakup ever. So, but what I meant to say with the boys was I was, then my shit changed. Like in college, I was friends with so many niggas, so many boys. I didn't know, I was friends with like a few girls here and there, like my roommate, and then like her friends. But I was never like a friend girl.
Same.
Because I didn't
Friend girl.
want to be either. I always fought girls. Always. I was always putting my hands on somebody because it was easy. And because I didn't like the disrespect. I think we all have mouths. You know what I'm saying? Men sometimes can restrain. They hear your mouth. They be like, all right, whatever. And I think with my friends, they were like, nigga, shut whatever. And they'll like pass it. With women, I think all of us, when we start to quacking, I'm going to put my hands on you at some point. So that's how I was with girls. I didn't like talking to them. I didn't like the fact that some girls try to change me because they wanted me to look like them. They wanted me to dress like them. They wanted me to do, they made me into this, like, this the one that fights and is a tomboy. And, like, I didn't like being that either. Right. I just didn't want to, I don't know. With girls, it was so weird. And I knew, and yeah, like, and I liked hanging with dudes at the time. Like, it was cool. They left me alone. We talked about nigga shit. We talked about, and a lot of times, unfortunately, you didn't have women that talked about hip hop. You had to sit around dudes to talk around hip hop. You had to sit around dudes to talk about football. You had to sit around. So, like, I would do that the most of the time, and that's how, I didn't have no girlfriends like that until now. Like, I mean, in 28
No
now.
girls in college
What
had an
was-
Xbox in their dorm room.
Right, I was gonna say-
PlayStation, so I was like, oh, what am I doing here?
What was your experience? Because you brought it up, Bex.
Specifically with what?
Women.
What your question was?
Oh, just I haven't figured it out yet either.
Mhm.
Why? But a lot of my best friends, advisors, longest friendships, most honest friendships have been with men.
And you have no idea why.
I might have an idea why. Just
No.
haven't. I just.
No,
I mean,
she
for
said
me,
that's
it's
what she said.
maybe it's kind of like it's a no-brainer, which is why I haven't dived into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happened. Like, I don't know. My energy is kind of like a little masculine too. I'm not. And this is no offense to anybody. I'm not dainty. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like. I try to put polish on my nails to Free be like, okay, grandma. Like, I don't know.
She be picking champagne.
Man,
Stop.
I was doing old lady colors.
Vodka champagne.
I mean, I like
And I'm
dressing
that
up.
friend that's telling her not to pick no damn champagne.
How about a damn
I'll dress up like what's appropriate. I like feeling womanly, but I'm not girly. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But
That makes
and
sense.
just the energy
Right,
is
and-
more like men. Like I just want to be like I'm not like I just want to because like you were saying I can go there with them
Right.
and it not be like a I don't like her no more and all of a sudden they go gossip with someone else.
And
It's
I know
like
that there's tons of people that are like, I hate me a bitch that say that she can only hang out with niggas. That's
Yes.
because you can't hang out with women. I'm like, well, that's maybe it's true. I just can't hang out with women at that age. At that time, you just brought up nails. I literally, my friends Chris and Cor, like everybody that went to school in the AUC knew that I didn't get my nails done. I was one of them girls who just put on a pair of pants and a big ass shirt and hope for the best, right? So when people started to realize that I got my eyebrows done and I started to really caring about like my nails and stuff, they used to be like, yo, they made it such a big thing. They're like, you get your nails done for real? I was like, nigga, like every 2 weeks for real. Like I really enjoy it, but it took time for me to enjoy certain things that women were doing at the time that I really couldn't get into. You know what I'm saying? Talking about niggas all day, that's cool. I'm tired though, cause y'all never gonna talk about these niggas. Y'all never gonna talk to these niggas. And then when we all have this conversation, and we talk about how many niggas we hating and we not talking to him. By the next breath, everybody's gonna be talking to the nigga. And I used to get on my nerves. I used to be
it's
like,
like what is it?
But a lot
What
of
is it? What are we doing?
Is women learning to accept one another? Because with men, they don't care.
Give a
That's
shit.
it.
Exactly. They
I don't
want
want to hang with niggas. Now I be like, I'm cool, yo.
Love
I don't want to talk.
my.
Yeah.
Is
I really do. Like
Only the
no
ones that I grew
shade.
up with.
No shade. I have different male friends from different parts of my life that I still talk to, and I have a bunch of male friends that I will just sit in the middle and just embrace everything. I feel like it's a learning experience. I feel like a lot of my male friendships have gotten me together more than a lot of my female friendships.
Very
in
true.
the sense
100%.
that's, like,
Because
Very
we
true.
have trouble being
bitch,
honest.
you slacking.
Mhm.
Like you look like a monkey. Like and it'll be the harshest words. And then also a lot of why I lean toward male. I mean, I won't say I lean toward male friendships more than women because I think I have an equal amount. But a lot of my male friendships, I just model them after my relationship and friendship with my brother because it's like, oh, this is what I'm familiar with. So, everybody about to play the Nintendo Switch. I'm about to play with y'all too. Like, I'm not exempt from it. I might be slow, but put the shit on. Like,
I'll still bust
I
your
just feel
ass.
like I think with women, it's like, oh, she won't accept me or she's judging
It's a
me,
lot
or
of
she's
judgment.
this and then she's
It's a
that.
lot of
It's a
judgment.
lot
I
of
didn't
subconscious competitive
Men don't
nature
care. Men
that
don't
I don't think
care
it's
at all.
I don't want to say women are competitive. I don't want to say that, but it is. It's a lot of like. I don't maybe want to say
I'm the
comparison.
opposite of all that, all of y'all. I love having female friends. I
Me
love
too.
having
No,
It's
no,
great.
I'm not
It's
saying
great
that.
when it's great.
I've been the girls.
It's
Girl,
great
I've been
when
a
it's
girls
great.
girl since I was a kid. Like
Yeah,
I
man, I
always
agree with
loved
that.
having female
I
friends.
too.
And like dance class,
Right.
my favorite friends were in dance.
Me
We would
too.
Go roll out and be out in the streets in DC. Go to the carry out. Like we would always do a lot to like those. I love being a woman and being a woman around other women.
No, me
And I
too.
think that's why I've always been in those spaces. Like I've always worked, well with women. That's just what I do. But I will say that I don't do arguing. and I don't do well at like pointing stuff out if I'm bothered. I won't be like, well, that really didn't like for the friendships that I have, we have to have serious moments where it'll have to be bad. Like it'll have to be like, I really didn't like when you said that because I literally went home and cried. Like that's not cool. And then we'll have to be like, I didn't even realize, like I realized I was doing it. So I do have to work on being more honest, but I just feel like the women that I know understand each other in a way that like men can't understand. Like there's certain aspects that they'll never get of being a woman. But I always was a very girly girl. I was dainty and girly. Like I loved being a girly girl, and that's still very much a part of my personality. Like I am girly. That's that. I remember when I first hung out with y'all, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it? Everyone here has J's and sneakers, and
I just started.
I had everything. Like I was just like, what is happening? Like what? But now I love them. But now I'm like,
but you see how you have that thought process? There are girls out there, there are women out there who that goes through their mind every day, and it's very hard for them.
That is hard.
To struggle with being accepted.
But I would have felt that if I was around, because like even when I first moved to New York, everybody was super cool. Like all the dudes had on. I'm like, oh shit, that's the thing on here. Obviously that was the thing in DC, but everybody had like New Balances and like it was like Nike boots. Like it was like, nigga, them shits. I wouldn't wear them shits anyway. But like the ACGs, like I was like, oh. But I also grew up in like a place where we had to wear skirts every day.
Right.
So like it wasn't like a thing for me. Like I always felt girly, so I was like, I'm a girl, and that's just that. And I'm gonna be with my girlfriends, and we're gonna be girls. And I love that. I love being a girl and talking about girly shit and going to get our nails done in spa days. Give me all that. Sign me up for all of it.
I'm definitely down to do that now. Again, in college, it was quiet. I'm not doing it. And also that was during a time also where girls were linking up with other girls because they were pretty, not because of, oh, we're cool, we get along, we talk, but it was bad bitches link up time where it was, oh, I'm only rolling with the finest, not caring about if you can hold a conversation with these girls or if they're your friend. It's just basically just girls that I guess aesthetically y'all look nice together, who do it a lot. Women do that a lot.
I was gonna say that still happens, especially in the workplace.
Right.
That's still
niggas don't
existing.
care. So when I was friends with niggas, it would just be like, hey, I'm one of the guys. Which when I grew up, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the girl. I was a girl. But I just wanted to just not. I don't know. I think it was my own issues. I think in my head of not being noticed. I didn't want to be noticed. Like I wanted to be in the back. I didn't want to be looked at. But now, like 25-year-old till now, you know, I've always appreciated women and black women because my mom is the captain of all black women things. But it was, you know, why don't I like spending time with women like that? So I decided to open myself up to spending time with women, having a conversation with women, sitting down and talking, you know what I'm saying, and figuring out, hey, like maybe we just like this kind of thing. I don't think I could ever do this in college. Do a podcast with women who get on my nerves. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? So I think like
did y'all just
Yes, I got it too.
Okay, cool.
It's okay.
we all get on each other's nerves.
We did. Hell the fuck
I
yes.
didn't highlight it.
Okay, I'm just saying, if Shorty gonna say it, we all gotta say it about each other.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Everybody gets on everybody.
Yeah, everybody going. Yeah, I mean, no, you get on
That's a very real
and
thing
you.
that we can dive into.
let's go.
Let's go.
First of all, I can't stand you.
Oh,
I thought you don't
let's
argue,
not
Gia.
get into
I
this.
love it's also 124 minutes long.
Definitely is.
But
I
mean,
feel like
I
you
think
should
there's
cut a
something-
lot in the beginning.
I think there's something that's really cool though about like what the importance of our friendship, like what it permeated from like the outside, like how cool it's been for people to be like the podcast, the conversations, like kind of how we were brought together for a purpose. Like even if we want to be like, I can't stand that bitch today, child, she get on my nerves, which happens. there is something that still makes us all show up here, and that's because we know this thing is kind of bigger than us. Forget like our friendships because we are friends. We need to do better at being friends as a whole. We talk about it all the time. How our group chat sucks. How we barely hang out together sometimes. But like us being there. We're trying. I think we're trying to show up for each other more, which I think is dope. But I think, every friendship takes work. And I think what works with us is the fact that we do have this dope thing, but because we can be honest with each other. So.
Yes, like you said, I think we realize that this whole thing is way bigger than us. Scotty Beam has run into people who are from Australia that listen, run into people from Barbados, Paris, North Carolina, California. They're just as important as people outside of the country. So I think that we realize before this, we didn't think that we would be touching anyone outside of the four walls in which we were recording, which was 395 Hudson Street. So to see that we have touched so many people's lives, people DM us and talk to us and tell us like we're literally changing and saving them, we show up. But like you said, we have to hold ourselves accountable and like
what are the expectations
of
then?
just everything.
We haven't really talked about it. What is the expectation for friendship
for you?
What are your expectations?
Friendship at 28.
Just
Respect.
give
Looks
me
like-
what respect and give me what I give you at the very least. If you can't give me anything else,
Give
period.
me what I give you.
What if I give you a hey, how you doing? I haven't spoken to you in a while. At least return that.
Yeah.
At the very
I mean,
least.
I feel like
That's the very least.
Respect. I don't know. I need to think a little more before I'm like respect.
No, I
Friendship.
mean that's a good one. That doesn't happen in all friendships. Relationships.
That
If the person
shouldn't.
can't respect you,
Yeah,
that's not your friend.
Listen,
True,
but it
like,
happens.
can't respect you.
Like, what?
However,
That's why you
knowing
don't
the
answer my text?
difference between someone respecting you and someone keeping it real with you is definitely important.
Yes, that's true.
I don't do well with keeping it real friends.
Why?
Sometimes it gets to be much.
Really?
I have a keep it
That's
real friend that's
interesting.
like tough, and I'm like, woo, Jesus! But at the end of the day, I know I need keep it real friends.
But why is
that'll,
it
like,
tough? Is it because because I'm always like I'm a person that likes sugar with my medicine. So I like a sandwich. So Gia, what you did here today was great. You know what? Not a sandwich.
But you're dumb for what you did. But ultimately,
You're still great.
you're still great.
So you like to be sugar coated.
I like
Let
sugarcoating.
me tell you something.
It's not.
I like the lime and the
Gia.
coconut and mix it.
That's okay.
There's nothing wrong with
My
that.
thing is like there's so
What's-
many different outlooks of like what
Nah.
friends expect, what they want, and if that's what she wants, that's what she wants.
Nah, you
some-
can't always
every
sugarcoat,
time-
fam.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be
Sugarcoat,
every
but
time.
basically be like, hey, your hair is nice, but I also think
You're dumb
your
today.
lip is stupid.
Right.
Right. They want. Some people
I don't
want.
know. I don't know.
I don't
So
know.
for me, and so also it
Oh,
takes
no.
time. So it takes time to build trust with someone. My best
Yes.
friend in the world can sit me down and be like, "What you did
I
was
agree with
dumb."
that. I agree with
100%.
Like real talk. But most of my friends let me rock and be stupid, and then after they be like, "You know that shit was stupid. You said it." They'll let me do it. I have to learn myself. That is me. I have to do it. I gotta be there. If that nigga hurt me, and I say I wanna go back, I'ma go back, and then I'ma realize I was wrong, and then that's gonna be that. That's it. I have to do it. It's gonna be tough for people to be my friend who can't handle that,
No,
and that's just that. But at the end of the day,
Oh, y'all, she's screaming at us. She said, if you can't handle that, you
so Farrah, if you can't handle it, that's great. That's why we on a podcast. I don't got to say names, but no, for men. So you don't know. No, for the men I'm dating. So it's like, who is she talking about? No one knows. But I think that at the end of the day, like, for me, I just like, if I don't trust that, like that, I
Opinion.
can't stand on the friendship yet. Because some friendships that I've had have only been a certain amount of time.
So
for
why are
me,
you telling your friends the information like that if you don't trust them with what they're gonna say?
it just takes time for me to be able to accept it, like learn people. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn that that's how that friend is. Like it's tough, but I'm like, woo, Jesus. But I trust what she has to say. Like she's never been wrong. She's never been like, no, that was stupid, and I didn't feel stupid. Like I felt stupid.
Right.
But it's just like, for me, I know me. I have to learn my lessons firsthand.
There you go.
and that's it.
You know yourself.
I have to learn my lessons firsthand. I do take a lot of advice from people when it comes to careers, which is why I have a lot of mentors and a lot of people who like have supported me. But my personal life, I gotta be dumb. I have to. Where else am I gonna learn it?
Right.
That's
a
crazy.
question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a question that I was gonna. I don't want to change the subject. So if you're gonna say something relating to that, go ahead.
Yeah. You actually said that you have to first be confident in the friendship, then you trust.
No.
Is that what you said?
So I was saying I have to trust so for me, I have really long friendships. Most of my really good friends are 10 years plus. I've been around
so
for 10 years plus.
You need time.
So I need time to like know that like, because most of my friendships in New York have been under a 5-year span. Like you can leave anytime. Like it's still all very. We ain't signed no contracts. Like you can leave at any time. You know what I'm saying? The door's right there. But at the end of the day, since we're here, I'm a transparent person, so I'm not gonna be like, I'm transparent to an extent. I'm not gonna be like, if I feel like I can't be around you and be myself, then I won't be around you. But then I accept everybody. Like at the end of the day, if I like you as a person, if I see a different side of your personality, I have to say like, okay, well, is that too much for me? And if it's not too much for me, then it's not. And if it is, it will be. But I think that like when you get to know people, there's different sides of them and they're complex beings and they have different sides of their personalities. The friend that I met, when we met, it was career. And we were like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. I love you. What are you doing? Oh my God, so what do you do? Let's songs. You're black. I'm black. Let's talk about it. Let's be friends.
Let's talk about it.
So you're black in journalism and I'm black in journalism. So what's your, like, it was like a thing.
Yeah.
And then we started having like more girly conversations and it was like, oh my God, bitch, you dating who? And then once things started, then you realize, okay, so Gia's the type of person that has to do it on her own, but she'll be the type to be like, I have to tell you that you are dumb. And that's just okay. But I prefer sugar with my medicine.
I prefer it straight.
Me,
if someone tells me about myself, which is something that I already know, or I feel like I can discern that there is some honesty in what you're saying, though I don't agree 100%, I'm more attracted to you now. Because it's like I need you for my own growth. It sounds selfish, but it's like growth. Show me me. I don't know what the fuck I look like sometimes. I think I might be doing something right, but if you have the guts and the balls to tell me about myself straight up, I want that around me all the time.
Yes, I believe that that's a really incredible trait to have. It's just in the way you deliver things. I think
100%.
in that's culture, and that's
true.
That's
It's 50-50,
because somebody
it's
can
50-50.
tell you like you look stupid, or somebody like you look kind of stupid.
It's case
Like,
by case.
Or they can joke it in, which is what
I don't want jokes.
No,
I
not
want
like, girl, what
love.
you think you doing? Come on. It's like, no, for real.
Sometimes, but all of that is with love. Like,
Yes.
I say things to my friends who I know who like, listen. I'll say it in a very what was the first one? The first one was like, you look dumb, right? I'll do that to the friends I know.
No,
for
you could do it
fact,
too,
right? That they can take, but
I don't think I could take it. I'll be like,
even if like Gia, you did something, and you probably would get mad at me for it, but I'd be like, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. If it was ever at that level, because I would expect somebody to be like, yo,
what you doing?
that was, yo. That shit was dumb.
and you'll tell me. You'll be like, Gia, don't do that shit. Don't do it.
Right.
And like,
But that's like that's the doll baby
version.
Right. That's me being like, oh, and I have a few friends that I'd be like, listen.
Like,
that you,
I
I knew you was going to do it. But
I knew you gonna do it.
I'm going to be here. But
Right.
listen. That's a friend
to
but
me.
also I have the friends that call me that'd be like, yo,
Bitch. Let me tell you something, bitch.
you remember when I said this, and this? It was true, bitch. I told your dumb ass. Now don't ask me ever again. I don't ever want to have this conversation, which we will again. You know what I'm saying? You have to trust that we will have this conversation.
You're going to have the conversation.
But I want you to know that I want you to sting because I want it to hurt so that you won't do it again. Because it hurts me that you hurt.
Right.
And
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
And I have friends that do that, that self-sabotage and hurt themselves, but don't see that their friends are the ones also that's hurting because you're hearing the story and you're like, bitch, can't you? All right, now I got to be mean to you. Now I have to call you a
Nothing
joke.
else is hitting.
Now, yeah.
Now we're not going to be friends because I just can't see you be this dumb because it's hurting me to see you be this dumb. So I'm going to step away.
See, I
let
can't
you
do
figure
that.
it out.
I can't do that.
It's another conversation.
Step away.
That's another
Step away.
conversation. What you about to say, Sophia?
I feel so, Gia. The reason why why I was like, I don't know. It's because I am like that in some ways too, where like I'm like, I can't hear mean things. I can't like, okay, now that you scolded me, did I do this good? Like that's just
yeah,
how I am. Like, so I definitely
used to be like
understand,
that,
but
for
I know how
sure.
it can bite you in the ass. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
But I feel like when people take certain tones with me, or it's like
Tone is the delivery.
but it's
Tone
also
is
like
the
if I hear it
delivery.
from a certain person, it's like, damn, I must really be dumb.
Right.
If your dumb ass is
No,
gone.
not to say that the other person is dumb, but it's like sometimes if my best friend says something, I'm like, damn, if Debbie telling me, bitch, you need to slow down, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
Or like if my cousin, like,
That's
I mean,
what-
you know
that's
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
Like, if it's somebody who knows me through and through, or somebody who's,
That's all
if
I'm
it's
saying.
like that, it's like, yo, Saphira, but I have some people who I know more recently who be like,
Bitch.
bitch.
Right.
And there's sometimes
that's
you
what-
have that relationship and that rapport
Right.
with people, and
what
that's
made me-
okay.
but that's also what made me stop wanting to be sugared and be, because I'm dainty, I'm girly. I feel like we have a lot of common threads, Gia. So I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was biting me in the ass to also. It's for me. I looked at it as, okay, you're scolding me, but I still want to be validated. And you know, and I'm not saying that's for you, but that's
I'm
how-
thinking about that.
That's how I started looking at it, because it's like, Saphira, this is what you did wrong, and then I'd be like, okay, but what about my shirt?
Like you need something.
You like this color?
That's interesting.
And-
I didn't
And
think
it
about
was
it like that.
Yes.
I know you just got down on me. You just called me all these things. You out of love, because I know it's coming from a place of love. I'm cognizant of that, but it's also like, you said all those mean things. Say something nice now. And they like,
No, you need to
"That's
say
No.
something
nice to
nice."
say
It honestly should be a case by case scenario. In every situation, it may not cause for you to be like, "Bitch, you dumb." It might be like,
Right,
no,
'cause that's
seriously,
kind of
it
Every
might-
situation.
That's
goes
abusive.
No,
me.
but
Tell me.
no,
anytime.
but that's what I'm saying. Some situations it may be like, Gia, this is what you did amazing in this situation, but this is what you did bad.
Right.
In another scenario, in another scenario, it may be, Gia,
Get out.
what the fuck are you doing? You're really
Leave.
wildin'. Period. You look crazy. Get the fuck out of this situation. Period. Point blank. It shouldn't always be. It's easy to have a blanket laid down before you fall. Like that's the pillows you put in the. No, that's not what I was trying to do with that. It's, no, no, that's really not what I was trying to do. But it's easy.
Before you fall.
What an accent. Really? You too, Scotty B? It's easy to fall on pillows. It is. It is. But on feathers and pillows, it is easy. But that doesn't necessarily, that kind of low-key stunts your growth, because you don't know what that pain feels like for you to grow.
So here's another thing. I had a really close friend who would tell me all the time, and he was a young man, would tell me everything I did wrong, at every turn, and I really appreciated it.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, honestly, to our friendship. And that was that was the twofold part that I was gonna get to. I don't know what happened, why our friendship disintegrated in the way it did. We kind of talked a little, but I enjoyed that.
Regardless.
I enjoyed him being like, "Yo, you look stupid. You should probably not."
Why is
wear
the real
that."
talk always like that? Like, yo.
Because you
that's
need
not
that
good,
sometimes.
bro.
That shit is
Like,
real.
let's bring
let me
it
talk to you
down.
real quick.
Check this out.
Like,
Check
hey,
this
check
out,
this out,
fam.
fam.
Yo.
Hey, yo, fam, touch this out. He would be like, "So don't say that again. Don't do it like that.
Oh.
You look stupid." Like,
Mhm.
so
My
I
friends
can,
like
it's
that
not
too.
that I can't take criticism, but when it comes to like decisions where I just need you to ride. I just need you to ride. I need my friends to ride.
Sometimes.
Through
No,
life.
sometimes you need that.
And the common thread is y'all just want somebody who understands you.
Right, that's it. Like, at the end
Know
of the day,
me very well, so that you
friendships-
know what I need when I need it, how I need it, why I need it,
Validation.
and when I don't.
I think
Understand me.
In my definition of friendship, a friend is a person who is there for you in life. And sometimes life won't look pretty, and sometimes life won't look beautiful, but they're still going to ride with you. Like, you could be in the worst position of your life and have $2 to your name, but a real friend is going to be there. Like at the end of the day.
And a real friend is also gonna say, "Bitch, you broke, but here's this $20."
Or they're gonna be like,
and bitch, I'm broke.
or they're gonna be like, come
$20.
over and eat. Here, I made dinner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, they're gonna ride with you and for you. And I think a real friend supports, shows up, loves on you. For me, I need love is a big part of friendship for me. I like being able to love on people. I'm like, oh my god.
I remember one of my friends. I had this is when I was in the Fighting the World, Deani, in college, and one of my close friends, Badia, I had a group of Philly dudes who were like my friends. Mm-hmm. So I got in this really big fight between like 3 girls, and so like I got out, and I'm thinking I'm all like I'm the shit, like, cause I beat up 3 girls, like I did it, whatever. So they're carrying me, and they put me in another room. And so BY is going off on me, like, because I thought I needed accolades, right? Where I just was like, I told, like, I do this. This is what I came here for.
Did y'all see it?
Are you not entertained?
This right. This bitch, they all fell. Like, all of them. I was the
David and Goliath.
Crown me.
So
they all came tumbling down.
He was like, are you happy now? He was like, you've ruined a good night for everybody. He was like, and you do this because of what? What are you holding on? And by the way, this was in front of everyone because this was in a different apartment. They had to carry me to a different apartment, lock me in there, and it was with my guy friends too. It was everybody, like all my guy friends. So they didn't want to say it, but BY was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. Why the fuck can't you keep your hands to yourselves? You don't do that. You ruined a whole fucking apartment. You ruined somebody's whole bathroom.
Damn, Tasmanian devil.
Yes. So he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And at that moment, I was like, you run the hands with me now. But in my mind, right, I had to stop myself because I was like, why, when I don't agree with people, even I'm willing to put my hands on my friends when it goes against something that I believe. Like, I believed that I was doing the right thing, which I kind of was in my brain. I still do.
Right.
Believe I was doing the right thing. But for him to be like, you can't keep fighting the world. Like, you can't keep doing that. You gonna fight for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Wow. You can't keep doing that shit. So you gotta figure it the
All's
fuck out.
my life I had to fight.
And he was like, you're gonna end up fighting by yourself and be by yourself. Cause don't nobody want to be around that. Somebody who can't take Deani, because Deani's gonna end up fighting somebody.
You become that friend,
right?
Liability,
right? So I had to learn, at that moment,
it is.
I had to figure out, okay, well, it changed my life. Like that harsh tone and what he was saying changed my life because I couldn't keep doing that shit. Mm-hmm. So he said it with love, and I think a lot of the harsh tones we see with our friends that we trust. Mm-hmm. Say it with love. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about the other friends, but the friends that their word is like actually bond. Like it's just how they talk, and you have to accept how they talk. I'm not a fan of how my mom gets into my ass, but I have to,
That's how she.
It.
That's how she.
Right. That's how she does it. And she used to say, like, don't tell me nothing if you don't want to hear a response. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to just be your keeper of secrets. But I always do feel like friends also need to learn when to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shush. I don't want to hear you. Sometimes you want to lend an ear to somebody and say, hey, I'm here to listen. I'm not here to talk. You don't want to hear anything back? Fine. I'll listen to you. Cool. Those are friends too. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody needs to have I need advice. Because I don't need your advice. Sometimes friends, I don't need advice from friends.
I was saying that before we started recording. I feel like I have friends for different, like, not to say I'm using people.
No, but
I have friends for different situations.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that I tell, and I've learned this over time. I have the friends that I tell the ratchet shit that I'm doing and the things I probably should not be doing too. I have friends. Very much so. I have friends who I'll be like, look, bitch, I need your help. What should I do? Are you going to be there for me? Me there for you? I have friends that I know will pull up at the nick of a fucking dime.
Yep, me too.
I have, and then, like to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, I guess why I still say, oh, my best friend, Debbie, or even Jameer calls all of us in some capacity his best friend. And I don't talk to Jameer every day.
Well, he calls Deani Bobby. That's
Right.
different.
I'm just saying, like, there are people who I call my best friend who, whether I talk to them every day or whether I don't talk to them every day, they're my best friend for a reason. Like,
I have a question.
You are my best friend because you did X, Y, and not based off of what you can do for other people, but this is how you've shown up for me in our relationship.
And that's important.
I vent to. Like, you gotta be like, hey, I'm going through depression.
Yeah.
There are literally friends I call to be like, bitch, I fucked him, and I don't know.
And I don't know
I don't
why.
like him. All right, I'll call you back.
Right.
Like that. I have friends like that.
And you know that when them friends hit you up and be like, bitch, you shouldn't have fucked him, you can't be mad
like,
at
now
me.
you're stupid, right? You know you're stupid because you're not even gonna like this nigga, and then now you stuck.
Do you think the amount of time, this is what I've been trying to ask, do you think the amount of time you've known someone is equivalent to how good of a friend they are to you?
No.
That's not
Because you be going through years of hell, years of bullshit,
Listen.
years of, and when you get to that point, looking back and being like, years of that?
Right.
Because you finally changed who you were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it don't, no,
evolved.
time does not equal quality.
Say that again?
Time does not equal quality.
All right now.
That's why I can meet somebody
Absolute fact.
the same day and they say something to me, I'm just like, oh, shit, you noticed that? We friends now. What's your number? What's your
Right,
Instagram?
right.
What's your email? What's your address?
That's
Everything.
why I don't get when people be like, no new friends. I'm like,
No, thank you.
Every
I'll take them all.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Yeah.
Right. I'll take them.
I'll take your friend.
I will say this. Besides one of the friend that I mentioned earlier that I no longer speak to, Rebecca, you were one of the people in my life that came into my life by storm, where I was like, who the fuck is this about to tell me about but I need to hear, thank you, but who the fuck? No, seriously. And it took some adjusting, I think, for both of us, because I think the respect was mutual. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. It wasn't. But no, I think it took some time to hear. And I think the issue that me and you went through for a very long time was, it wasn't that I wasn't valuing what you were saying. It was the tone in which I felt like there was never a sugar on top. It was just a ha ha ha.
Oh,
and
wow,
sometimes
you need a trigger?
no,
There is nothing
no,
sugary.
With
no,
Rebecca,
no, there
with
isn't.
Rebecca, it is
There
tart,
isn't.
just
Sour.
bitter
Sour.
taste. Like it's key lime.
No, but I
That
think-
shit is underarm sweat.
In recent conversation
That shit is
in recent conversation with
Alcohol.
Rebecca, I think Rebecca understands that sometimes that's not necessary to get your point
100%.
across. And part of, and just to be transparent, a part of Rebecca and I went through a very long time of not speaking. I don't think y'all would ever notice on the podcast, maybe here and there, but whatever.
You told him now. Go back and listen.
Right. We sat in the car not too long ago, recently, just talking about everything. And I did something to Rebecca in a situation that I would never do to anybody. But because I felt like this was Rebecca's understanding of how she needed to feel what I was feeling, I hurt her. And I think she understood me
At that
because
point.
at that point, like, I would never do what I did to anyone in the world because that's just not
Yeah,
me.
it was a new you.
It
What you
was-
did.
And
I
are
was
you
like,
okay with me telling you?
wow.
Are you okay with me saying it?
Yeah.
So Rebecca and I had
Oh,
issues.
well, here we go.
We're here. We can talk about it now.
We're
'cause
here.
We've
'Cause
arrived.
it's
We've
because it's
arrived.
resolved, so it's just like,
Right. We had an issue.
God help.
We had
Oh,
to
please.
arrive here first. That's why it didn't work when we tried to do
there
it
was
before.
no tension with anybody. I think we had what we had, but it didn't really affect.
I mean, we could talk
Did
for
it?
ourselves, but
Okay,
whatever.
well,
Let me
I
just.
don't Okay.
Rebecca and I. We had. Yo, let me fucking speak. We had an issue, and Rebecca and our mutual friend, co-worker Avery, had a going away party. I really wanted to go to this going away party. Stop it. Let me speak. I really wanted to go to this going away party because I didn't know when I was going to see Avery again. And in retrospectively speaking, I would have never seen Avery again because I didn't see him since that time.
But before you proceed, so on the other side of things,
Okay.
so I didn't know that at all. I just
Right.
thought Avery was. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you're here because he's one of my best friends. So I'm happy that I got to have the moment with him as well.
Right.
So I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in good spirits. I'm like, so many people, like, oh my God, I can't believe that, like, it's love in this room. Then I saw you, and I was just like, oh, you know what? Everything's going good. It's
Don't
is
go there yet.
ridiculous. This is stupid.
Wait,
and then
don't go there
I
yet.
see you talking to Safira on
No,
your way
Safira,
out.
Safira came to me. Safira came to me. Safira came to me and said,
Now let me jump in. I said,
and I told her, I said, I'm not, don't do
Alicia's
it.
here. Oh my God, perfect moment.
No, it wasn't.
You're so nice.
And it wasn't.
You showed up to say,
Let her go.
Right.
No, because we need the drama because I know this is what.
I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. They
No.
haven't spoke. Oh my God, she's here.
And
Alicia.
and what Safira didn't know,
Oprah.
right? And what Safira didn't know is that I felt like Rebecca kept dismissing my feelings with the situation, and that she kept wanting to just move forward with the situation instead of addressing what I felt. So I started to take everything that Rebecca was doing personally, whether regarded work, whether regarded the podcast, whether regarded like
Sneezing.
anything. I started to take it personally. And Safira insisted on me walking over to Rebecca, and I told Safira no, and she was like, just come, kumbaya.
Right,
And I was like,
right.
no.
Sounds like you.
And
It
you
was.
literally just
No,
did that.
exactly.
You
Did she not
literally
do that?
just did that.
I was like, Alicia, let's go.
And
Like,
Rebecca,
I saw all of that.
she did. And
was
I
like, you
and
know
what? Quite the
honestly,
commotion.
I didn't know that Rebecca, this is now,
So you did
y'all
know.
gotta understand, this
Quite
is the
the
first
commotion.
time I'm hearing from Rebecca that this is the energy she was in. We know Rebecca as sharp, what the fuck you doing here? So I'm prepared for whatever
Yikes.
energy you about to give me because I had it ready for the amount of times
Man,
that
you weren't
we
ready.
weren't communicating.
So then I walked over,
She did.
and I said, you're not going to just come and not say nothing to me.
And I didn't take that as a joke. I took that seriously, and I said, yes, actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here and not speak to you.
I said, oh,
Yes.
okay, have a great night. And I turned around and walked
And I
away.
said, you too. But the reason why
You didn't say you too.
I did. I swear to God on my
Well, I
father,
didn't hear
did.
it.
You didn't because you walked away.
Yeah, facts.
Right. So the reason why I said that, and I told Rebecca this a few weeks ago, we tried to have this conversation, just transparency moment. We tried to have this conversation on the podcast before. Didn't go too well.
Cut that shit out.
It didn't go well because me and her weren't ready to speak about it, and we also didn't have the conversations to ourselves yet.
It was the ghetto.
We
went all the
Child.
way to the
Child.
ghetto.
Ghetto.
We was in the ghetto with
In
that.
a good way.
need
But
you.
just a few weeks
Third
ago,
world country child.
it wasn't that bad. Relax.
Oh, it's third world. It was crazy out here.
I don't think
You
I've
had to
ever
fly back
seen
real
Scotty Beam so
Oh,
uncomfortable in my
I
life.
hate confrontation
Which
between
is hard.
two people.
Nah, she doesn't.
That
Just
doesn't
between
involve
friends.
me.
Yes.
She doesn't. Fuck what she just said.
No,
She
no,
just
no.
doesn't like it between friends.
No, I don't like confrontation between two other people.
That
if
are friends.
I'm there, no. It don't even matter. If I see two people arguing, I get really weird because one, I should be involved. And then
Okay, see.
So I can't-
Here we go.
I can't say anything.
Pods.
But hold on. And the crazy thing about it is, and not to interrupt y'all story, is we have all seen that in action
Okay.
in the Hot 97 office.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
Lord.
Just like not wanting to be involved in confrontation. I do believe that.
But then also,
whenever somebody does have like a confrontation in digital, I'm like, oh God.
Then you're like, oh, Lord. Out
no,
the door.
yes.
Right, I
Out
get
the door.
scared.
But to be transparent, we did try to have this conversation for the first time, myself and Rebecca. Rebecca insisted on having the conversation. I even said, we can't do this right now because we're not ready. We had the conversation. Didn't go well, so we chopped literally maybe 45 minutes of
Chopped
of
good
an
1,000
episode.
years.
I'll tell you, I'll
It
drop
wasn't
it.
But-
a good episode.
No, it wasn't. But I had to.
Give us sugar. Give us sugar. Give us sugar.
Yeah. I'm gonna put
But
sugar on this.
Rebecca and
I'm just
I-
waiting for you guys to end. Go ahead.
Rebecca, right. Gia was quiet. Rebecca and I had a really transparent conversation literally just a few weeks ago.
Randomly, too. Wasn't even.
Randomly, not planned, and I think that's what made it perfect because her and I tried to have these planned occasions and we just weren't ready. And I said to her, I apologized to her initially for doing that because that's not something that I would usually do. But I said to her, and out of that conversation that we had on the podcast, I didn't know how to formulate it then. But after thinking about it and then speaking to Rebecca literally a few weeks ago, I said to her, the reason why I said that is because that's how you knew how to understand
That
where
was my
I was coming
language.
from.
Yeah.
That was your language of friendship. You needed to be hurt to understand that I'm not fucking with you. You didn't understand it every other time when I tried to sugar it or tried to be transparent or try to, whatever approach I gave you wasn't it until I said, fuck out of here in my quote unquote language.
But I will say this though, and I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off,
go
but
ahead.
I don't necessarily need to be hurt now moving forward with
Oh,
anybody else.
I know. No, and I know that, and that's what I was going to
But
get
because
to.
you did that, it made me have a lot more consideration for my tone, a lot more consideration for people's emotions, and the fact that they're just not, and this is no shade, we're just not built the same.
Right.
And I have to respect that about somebody else.
Right. And
So-
it's not necessarily your built being higher than mine or
Not
vice
at all,
versa.
at
It's
all.
just our language of communication is completely different. And it took me being outside of myself and you probably doing something different in a sense too, and approaching me that maybe you might not have done that before, for you to realize, like, for us rather to realize, like, oh nah, yeah, I didn't like that. And
Yeah.
we finally got to a place where we were like mature enough to have the conversation to be like, you know what, I apologize for not doing XYG, or I apologize for not making you don't come for me, or I apologize for not making you feel this way, or making you feel this way, or not understanding your communication and friendship. And it took a long time. I want to say that was a year,
It was about, a long time.
literally a year. And Rebecca, and I always say this to Rebecca, I say Rebecca is one of the people to really make me look at myself, which is something I always needed. And she, whether I wanted to hear it or not, I always respected her opinion. So the reason why I asked that question about does time make a friendship is because I only knew Rebecca. I don't remember, when did you start hot? 15?
Yeah.
It's 18. I have friends who can't tell me about myself in such a way that she did to make me actually want to change. And not necessarily that I'm changing for her, but just changing for the better. But it took, child, it took us some time to get there.
I don't want to make it seem like, but we talked about, speaking from a place of love. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm a guru at all, but it's always, I try to speak to someone so that they're like, they can take actions to stop their own pain because they can't see it. They can't see the decisions that they're making, the choices that they're making are creating patterns for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not like, I'm really not trying to hurt or do anything for my benefit, because I might give you advice that might really not make us friends anymore, but I know that's best for you, because it's going to change a lot of shit that needs to be changed in your life.
No,
So-
100%. And I feel like between me and you, just specifically speaking, I feel like it's the same as well, because you confide in me about certain things as well that I don't think you would confide in other friends about. It's just, I think our tones are different. I think when I needed sugar, you weren't giving me sugar, and when you needed sugar, vice versa. Like, it just, we didn't get
I
it.
don't ever need sugar.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I don't even need sugar.
but just,
Nah.
I just think
a cough drop.
communication, a cough drop.
Drops are great and healing.
Yes,
Really?
they
I
are.
got the fisherman one.
That's the
I like a
Vicola though, Vicola
like
is it.
whole.
I'm not really that. Really?
Nah, sometimes your tone could be like, it's necessary, but not in that moment. In that moment, sometimes that's not the tone that's needed. You could say it to me kindly.
She's a great friend.
Who? Me?
Sugar.
I could keep it funky too. I'm more
Diabetes.
sugar than I am anything.
Here's the thing.
Hey,
It's the
I
thing.
don't wanna hear. Are we? Is this done?
Are we done or?
Are you done?
Yeah, I mean, we're
Are you
good.
done?
That's good. I'm happy.
Get it?
Friend
Everything.
conversation is important.
I get it. We need to be.
No, yeah, I
Why
don't.
do we need to be?
I want to confrontation.
Can you conversation
I want to
with that?
confrontate.
No.
Saphira is mad funny.
But Sarah make me laugh.
Okay, but I
Y'all
make you
would,
laugh too.
if you would sit fair beef, y'all would just do impersonations.
Who's you?
back
all
and
day.
Who are you
forth.
talking about?
No.
Saphira and Gia.
We
Oh,
all
no,
have
girl.
we all have levels to us.
Oh no,
You
Gia
would
could
not
snap back.
us
Layers.
layers, but layers. You
Here we
right.
go.
But I was gonna say levels of petty, levels of
Y'all know.
We have our
Petty LaBelle.
Oh, cut the mics. Take it out.
I don't have
So I
petty.
mean, if we're going to this part of the conversation,
We just gonna have
Let's
to
be
stop.
honest with our friends.
All right,
Be
we are.
honest.
We are.
I guess it ain't
not
done.
Petty. Petty is like.
Petty. This is the real episode.
Right. Petty is like,
me?
doing shit to spite, like.
Deannie, have you seen yourself shake when someone pisses you the fuck off?
That ain't petty.
And
But that's not petty.
Let me
That's what I'm
scan
saying.
through my brain.
I have never done anything
Yes, please
that's
roll a dice.
petty. Like, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
petty. Is it
That's
petty or
different than petty.
No, like petty or petty.
Nah.
I'm not like that. I'll be the one to say, hey, I don't fuck with you. It's not, hey, I don't fuck with her. I'm not going to tell her, but I'm going to act these different ways and petty. I'm not
That's
like
not
that.
petty. That's phony.
Okay.
That's different.
No,
Okay, yes,
but
yes,
there-
yes, yes,
there
yes.
are people
That's different.
Just like, I just stopped speaking to you, but now I'm being petty. No, I'm just not going to speak to you. That's it. Like, I'm not going to be petty towards you. I'm like, okay, hello. Stay blessed. I'm not one of those
even a
people. I don't know. And I see petty. Like, I think it's cool to watch on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes, it's so funny.
Right, it's mad funny. Maybe I'm not that
Shade,
witty,
child.
like to think of like petty ways to do things. I'm
not
really,
witty
really.
either.
It's a lot of time takes
I can't
to
be witty
think
either.
of ways
Don't
than
try
just.
to be excusing
I'm
the pettiness, guys, because we do all have it. And
I don't
for sure.
I'm petty.
I don't have petty.
I don't look self-evaluation.
No, I'm not.
Y'all are trying to convince yourselves.
Everybody's first of all saying that they're
No,
not
I'm
petty,
not.
which is great.
I'm pretty sure that I have a lot of it in me.
Oh,
Well, thank you for
child,
your transparency, Saf.
You wrote the Bible on
Right,
petty,
on petty,
okay?
yes, very.
I mean, she's sassy.
Okay.
There's a
She's
little
sassy.
bit
Yeah.
of petty
No,
and
that's
shade that
super-
comes with sass.
The root.
Super little.
Oh.
Safira is shady
Mm-hmm.
and petty.
Wow, friend.
She's
You
a
know
walking
that.
confessional. Like,
Wow.
you know when people cut so
Oh.
the confessionals in reality TV?
Yes,
That's Safira.
shady.
I'm the glue for my life and my wig.
Right?
That's Nene on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I said.
So good.
What I said, okay?
I said what I said.
That's me, guys.
Yo.
I accept it.
I love that
You
show.
did. You did say
It's
you were
still
petty.
good.
I know that I'm
used to watch
petty,
it.
and I'm
Thank you
I'm
for your
aware.
transparency, sis. Thank you.
here.
She's arrived.
Right.
No,
I mean, there's a
wouldn't
level
wanna-
of
I don't like
sass
beef.
that comes with that.
You don't like beef.
what's beef.
With you and somebody else, or just with other people?
Oh yes, as you can tell when they were beefing, I do not like it. I mean, it's not my
Gia
thing.
was literally in her phone the
She
entire
rolled
time.
back to the wall.
Yeah,
I was
she.
like,
I don't know how she
well,
didn't walk
this
out.
is I was like that Homer meme when he backs into the bush.
Scotty B was like, okay,
Right.
so
Stop it!
what are we really saying here?
I have a real question.
Rebecca,
her
did
very
you
hardest to
understand
me.
where she was coming from? Leash? I was like, Scotty Beam, stay out of this
I was
because
so scared. I was petrified.
The energy was insane.
because we weren't ready to talk. We were not ready.
Well, you guys weren't hearing each other.
Because we weren't ready to talk. We never had the personal conversation.
About time.
It wasn't. We weren't ready to talk. Maybe one
I
day
don't
we
like
could air
beef
it.
in general. No,
No, never.
No.
It was bad. It was messy for sure.
I don't
100%.
like beef.
It was messy.
I
just
think
come
I
from
am the
such
type of
a
person
wholesome
that will
place.
put it into. I'm a stuffer too, and that's not a good thing. I want to grow out of that, but I want to make sure that I do it in a way that's constructive and not just like I wild out. I'm not a wild out person, so that's not what I would be worried about. I would want to make sure that it's in a way that like I could receive what someone is saying to me about, because I'm not a perfect friend. I don't think I'm a perfect friend at all. I know like there's several of my friends back home.
You got great friends.
I think I'm a great friend to my great friends.
Me too.
So like,
Okay, I'm okay.
yeah,
I think, and I want to say this.
I wanna
think
be
I'm
better.
Okay. I want to be better. I think I'm learning to be better.
Yeah.
But I needed to grow up in a lot of areas.
and I think
And I
that
needed to be more responsible in a lot of areas for me to be. I mean, I'm sure people think that I'm great, but I just need to grow up.
I
I
need
was
for
the-
me. I was
Go ahead,
before
go
you
ahead, go ahead.
because like there are friends in DC who I like don't talk to as much as I used to, and it's not because I don't love them. It's just because when I think about the amount of close friends I have, I do feel like, okay, well, if we weren't if we weren't having our conversations and stuff before, then I don't really know if there's a point in like bringing it in now, just because we've known each other for so long. But then there are some people that I do need to have a conversation with, like real talk. Like I need to be like, sorry that I didn't show up for you because I was working. Because that's me. Like sometimes I'll be like they know Gia probably not gonna come. Like they're like she's gonna be late, and I don't want that to be me because I don't live there, so I do have a certain level of understanding. But sometimes I'll be there and I'm just like tired,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Gia.
Bro, like,
Yeah.
this was important to me. So now I try to do my best to be like, okay, so it's your daughter's birthday. I'm coming. I don't know what time I'm going to be there, but I'm coming. I'll stay late or come early, but I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm trying to be better, but it's tough.
No, it is. I mean, I felt like in my earlier years, like high school, elementary, middle school, I felt like I was such a giving friend where I put other people before I put myself first. And now am I doing opposite, which sometimes makes me believe that I'm not being a good friend, which is not necessarily true. I'm just putting myself first and protecting myself and my peace. So sometimes I can't distinguish whether I'm not being a good friend or if I'm just being selfish or selfless. I don't know which one that applies to in that moment, but for a very long time, I felt like I was too good of a friend to too many people that weren't reciprocating that energy to me. And now am I starting to put myself first? And sometimes it's painful for me to do that because that's not what I know. Mm-hmm. So it's still a learning process for me. Like, I'm still really learning what it's like to be this new leash who's putting herself first and dealing with guilt and not showing up to events or putting, my personal events before other people's personal events. And that's something I would have never done before. Whatever I was doing that was important for me, I would be like, yeah, nah, I can't make that. This is happening for so-and-so. I'm going to go. When in retrospect, they would never do that for me, regardless of how big the situation was, whether it was a parent passing or whether it was a speaking engagement. And that was hard. It was hard for me to get here. I'm 32. I still haven't figured it out.
I just suck. I'm just a bad friend. I am a good friend when it comes to someone who needs me to be there physically. Like, hey sis, this is happening. I need you to be okay. I'll come. But as far as, I don't know what it is about me and focus. I can't focus, right? So when somebody comes to me and like one of my like me and Trish call each other bad friends because we are. We're really bad. We won't talk to each other for 2 weeks. And then when we talk to each other, then we'll lay out what happened. We're like, damn, we some really bad friends. Like, we don't, because like, I don't know, we have separate lives. We do separate things.
Life is happening.
We always come back together to like recap and say what's going on. So
Home base.
I was like, maybe that's the nature of me and my friendships period, where I feel like I don't have to talk to somebody for every day. I'm more of like a, hey, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know, because I know there's friends that need that. I know that at some point I was like that, where I needed you to hit me up and check on me. But I think now in this age of 28, maybe it's like, I'm all right. Like, I'm cool. Check on me once, I'll remember it. And I'll be like, oh, okay, that's dope. She checked on me that one time. Mm-hmm. Like, that was cool. But like, I'm really bad, like with texting, right? I really think that says a lot about my friendship.
Ooh.
It does. I am a horrible texter. Right? Shut up. I know this. Everybody
let's not dance around this, because it's borderline hurtful. The way you operate in text, and it's
right. So
no,
I know.
Listen.
I know. I get the speeches every day. I get the lectures. I get it from everyone. So it's really based on focus. Like, I can't focus on texting people back. I just recently responded to Safira after a therapy text after a week, and I had to sincerely apologize for just completely not being there. I just was like, I read it and I was like, oh shit, and I didn't respond.
But you responded up here.
No, but that's a serious thing. I swear to God on my grandfather's grave, I be responding to shit, I think, or I'll text in the middle. You know how you leave it there in that little bar? I'll be right in the middle of a sentence and just and think that I have responded. I'm pretty sure I could find 1,000 of them where, like, I'm like, oh shit, I thought I responded. I did that like yesterday. I was like, my mom had texted me. She was coming back from Jamaica, and she was like, she was making a joke. Who gonna come and pick me up? Blah blah blah. And I had said, not me. Making a joke. But I didn't even respond. She called me. She was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. She was like, you didn't respond. I was like, I thought I did. And she was like, no. So I check, and I'm like, oh, my God. I was like,
I didn't just send.
I didn't even hit send. I didn't even finish the sentence. It was like in the middle, and I think I was doing something else, and I was like, doo-doo. So I have a problem focusing. So I said that was going to be one of my things. And I told my therapist that my focus has been a struggle ever since I was a kid. Like, I can't focus on things wholeheartedly unless it's about me, right? Which is really, really selfish, right?
I was about to say.
Are we having a breakthrough right now?
Listen, let it come
that's
through.
true. Unless it's about me. And then I'm like, oh, just like anybody else, it is like, hey, so-and-so is dying. You'd be like, oh my fuck, what? That's crazy. But you'd be like, bitch, you dying. It's like, oh, wait, what? You dying? Like, it's different. It's different. So I pay more attention to it. Like, if it's something or a project that I want to do, I'm interested. I'm invested. But if it's not, I'm like, okay, now I gotta focus.
Honesty
and
moment.
That takes a lot of focus.
Honesty moment. You really made me feel some type of way on Thanksgiving when all of us said Happy Thanksgiving and you did not.
Never ending, guys.
No. We're here. Let's just talk about it.
We gotta go eventually.
That.
No.
Let's get here. We're in a good place.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
No, we're here. Let's reel it back in for a second.
Right.
This is important.
It
We're
is.
getting through breakthrough here.
It is.
Let's come back.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ride the
It
wave.
made me. I don't know how anybody else feels, so I can't talk about anyone else. But I do feel like there have been situations, and whether it's a holiday or someone going through something and saying pray for me, where we all say something in the chat, and you don't say anything, and it hurts my feelings when you don't, because I feel like if it was vice versa, you would hate us and disown us, and would feel some type of way.
That's valid.
That's valid. I did it before.
Yes.
So
I didn't know if you wanted to put it out there, but since we're being transparent this episode,
all out the chat.
yeah. So for me to see your reaction to something you went through personally, and someone else going through something that they may have gone through personally, and bringing it into the chat, or even if it's just a hey y'all, love y'all, grateful for y'all bitches, bye, happy Thanksgiving, and just not to get that back from you is kind of hurtful. And then we come here on the mic and we're sisterhood.
No, I get that, but I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
I should have wrote gobble gobble happy Thanksgiving.
That I don't want to.
blah,
I don't
blah.
want that.
No, I totally get that.
Okay.
I get it. I'm still
I'm still responding to texts from y'all
From
about
1774.
recording in September.
no,
Kid.
I had all intentions to respond.
But
I read it and I was like, "Oh, that's so dope." Rebecca did you sent it or Rebecca sent it?
I don't remember.
I think Rebecca
Might have been
Because
Beck.
that's why I was.
She
shouting.
different. Rebecca different, y'all.
Writing gobble gobble tags. So then I had again all intentions too. I took a nap.
Can you just repeat that? It's going to be in the episode. I'm
What?
sorry. The door. Every time the
You
door
had
opens-
intentions
Oh,
too.
I had intentions to respond. I looked at it, and I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so I looked at it. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna respond, and then it just never came. So then when I was reminded to do it, it was 12 a.m. and I was like, now it's gonna look crazy if I say, oh yeah, y'all too. I didn't want to do that, so I was like, fuck it. Did I let it rock? See, I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, you let it rock a lot of the
I didn't
times.
say anything. So
Yes.
then, but there are also other times where I tell y'all news about stuff or send stuff to y'all about certain things, and then no one responds. So I'm like, I'm not like I'll read when everybody's available. Like I'll do that, and then I'll tell you, yeah, I can make it or whatever it is. But it's hard for me sometimes too to keep up with the group chat. Y'all be arguing and going back and
not all
forth
the
so
time.
many
That's true.
times.
That's not true.
Yes.
G.
Well, when I read it, I'm like, oh shit, somebody's about to catch feelings.
It's like
All right.
the letters is coming off the phone when you read it from the group chat. It's really nice.
It's just, and I'm like, okay, well, whenever they're ready, like to say what date they can do, I'm down to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much
That's not how it works, though.
I suck. I am sorry. I'm working on trying to be a better texter. I know. I'm sorry I made you feel that way, Alicia. I'm working on making other people and you feel a different way because it's not how anybody should do. It shouldn't be
right
that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bad. I'm just bad at it. I suck. I'm horrible at phone.
I'm really glad that you can admit that you suck at it. No, I'm very
No,
serious.
I know you were. I know you.
I'm being very
No,
serious.
she's being
I'm not being
honest.
shady. I'm not being
She's being sassy. That's all.
Right. I'm really
No.
not. I'm just very. I'm proud of you that you're able to
Say that.
acknowledge that.
You have said that before.
No,
we know,
knew
but that
it.
doesn't mean you know, and you wouldn't have said that
No,
before.
That's not the point that I was making. Like, yes, we knew it, and I feel like it's been brought up in jest and in passing and joking in the past. But for Rebecca and Alicia to say they were hurt by it and the way you're responding to it,
Let me be clear. Yeah.
you said it was
Alicia.
very hurtful.
Here's the thing.
Oh, your texting was hurt.
I'm saying it on behalf of more than just me.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, I'm just like, that's Deani. It sucks that you do that. It sucks that you, it sucks. For me, it's like, it
I
sucks.
feel like, yes,
but I'm like,
it was hurtful, and we've gotten. I feel like I've gotten over it. Like, that's who you are.
We haven't.
right.
Well,
I just don't think it's considerate.
Yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
No, because I'm not always the best texter, but I think when it comes to the chat, because I also have had times where I'm like, all right, well, shit, no one responds. Thanks again, and then and then I feel away. I try to like make sure that I show up at least in those texts. When I can, like it might not be in the hour that everybody sends it, but I'm like, all right, y'all, like, let me make sure I send
You
it.
always show up regardless of the hour. 100%.
I try.
No,
I don't do it
for the
100%.
most
I
part.
wouldn't say 100%.
Yeah.
No one at
For
the
the
table
mo-
100%.
Well,
No,
yeah,
none of
well,
us.
yes. Okay, so then take that back. Let me take
Alicia
that back.
actually, I feel like is the most consistent.
Alicia
chatter.
will long press a text. Lord, if you don't stop long pressing
Don't come
these
for me.
texts.
The friendship conversation is a long conversation. We
Right.
just gonna have to have another one. I ain't like when
I
you.
didn't like that shit.
I mean, I think we have to have conversations when we leave because we have to leave.
100%.
But at the end of the day, I think that we all respect and value each other. I believe we all respect and value each other.
We're learning.
And at the end of the day, we ain't going nowhere. This is Black Girl Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Oh, tell us about your friendship stories.
Yes, at Black Girl Pod, Twitter, Instagram. When we post it, tell
At the
us,
bitch
tell
that
us,
did
tell
you
us.
wrong. and
No.
Did we
Don't
learn
listen
nothing
to that
from
bitch.
this conversation?
I'm the petty one.
Right.
That's crazy.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Gia Peppers.